Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's installment of Washington Post Story Mode, the show where we discuss the biggest video game news of the week. I'm Washington Post reporter Nathan Grayson, and today we are talking about a whole bunch of things. I'm joined by fellow Washington Post games reporter Shannon Liao. Say hey, Shannon.
Hey everyone. So glad to be here. We have like a very cozy stream today. Just two of us talking about all the news.
Yeah, today's going to be kind of just like for those who've watched the show before, that second segment that we always do where we just do a whole bunch of stories. We're just going to do that one because it's been kind of an all over the place week. And so, yeah, we're just going to run through a whole bunch of different stuff and kind of have a good time with it, or maybe a really bad time with it, wherever we end up. So, with all that preamble out of the way, because really, what more is there to say? Um, let's get into it. So, I think that the thing that has everybody talking the most this week, at least as of yesterday, was the Nintendo Direct. Mainly because of this beautiful fellow right here, this titan of industry, and by titan of I mean eater of, and by industry I mean cars.
Right. Yeah.
Y-
I mean, Disney might take a look at this and say, "Hey, you keep your hands off my property. The cars are mine. Don't eat
yeah.
me."
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot Disney invented cars.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
know.
true.
It's Walt Disney himself. Just like one day he looked at four tires and he was like, wait, what if I put them together? And that changed the world. Um, but yeah, so yesterday Nintendo did a direct mostly about games that are set to come out in the first half of the year. I like how for the final game, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, they're just like, oh yeah, this comes out in September, so we lied. Um,
hmm
but anyway, the one that got the most buzz was definitely the new Kirby game. Which what is its full title? I don't even know. I just call it
Kirby
Carby.
and the Forgotten Land,
Yeah, okay, so Carby.
aka Last of Us Part 2.
You mean part three? Part two, part
Part
three. Part
Last of
two dash
Us
two.
in general, just like in the world of Last of Us, I guess like part 2.5, if you want to be
Okay, okay.
specific.
Wow, yeah, it really changed. But in any case, so new Kirby game, and it is really something else. Like, I don't think anybody ever expected Kirby to look like this. I mean,
That's
already
Kirby.
it is Kirby, but then look at the background. Like, this is not a standard Kirby world.
That's why we say that, Kirby's migrated over to The Last of Us, which is also, a Sony game. So
Wow, the metaverse is real. And here we go. Time for that car. Oh, yeah. Eat that bad boy right up. At least insofar as you're
Oh my
capable of doing so.
god.
I also like how this is Kirby's like maybe laziest transformation. Usually like or either it's his laziest or most creative because usually Kirby like gets a little hat or whatever, and in this case he becomes the hat.
hmm
It is a
Yeah.
role reversal. This is postmodern Kirby.
I mean, it's like taking a note from like Super Mario Odyssey, right? And also,
Mhm.
I think I was like writing so intensely during this trailer, I didn't actually get a chance to like just sit here and look at it. It's very cute.
Mhm. Yeah, it really is. I mean, like, all joking aside, this looks like. Oh, there. Sorry. One more joke. Mouthful mode. That's all I'm going to say. For people who haven't seen it yet, do with that phrase as you will. You know,
Bending
ruminate on the
mouth.
possibilities contained therein. Vending mouth.
Wow.
Cone mouth.
It's great. I love like how Kirby does a somersault to get
Mhm.
into the shape. It's not just like eating it and transforming immediately.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, no. It takes work to become a hat for other objects.
A hat. Oh man, yeah, it's great. I am excited for this. This is coming out pretty soon,
Mhm.
actually, so it's gonna be a really
Yeah.
busy like February, March, for journalists and also for gamers.
Yeah, no. Well, also, yeah, it's coming out relatively soon. Again, like every game they showed in the direct is supposed to be coming out within the next 6 months or so. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, joking aside, this game does look pretty cool. I mean, it looks like pretty different as far as Kirby games go, which is great. In that, I remember there was that span of time where like there's never really been a truly bad Kirby game, but there have been a lot of really samey Kirby games. And this finally looks like they're really trying to overhaul it, like low key, in not the same way as, but similar to, like, you know, Breath of the Wild was for Zelda, Odyssey was for Mario. Like it sort of seems to be a statement of like, this is, you know, going to be something new and different and kind of a jumping off point for whatever comes next for the series.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good refresh for the franchise, and yeah, it seems like it would be the most modern Kirby yet. You know, dealing with the apocalypse and this ruined land. Anyway, I don't know
Yeah,
who's gonna
just
review it on our team, but I bet like me and a couple coworkers are gonna have to duke it out to figure out who does it.
yeah, no, I mean, there's no way, right, that Gene Park, whose avatar is literally Kirby, would be interested in this. Highly
Yeah,
unlikely.
we'll have to see. I don't. Yeah, we'll see what his schedule is like.
Let's see. Ryan in chat just said, "Where's the NSFW warning for this stream?"
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, well, I
we're
got
about to
bad
be
news for you.
delisted by our advertisers.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so it's actually only going to get more NSFW now because this is a link submitted by one Shannon Liao. I haven't heard of her. Anyway, it's time to reveal somebody's new NFT collection.
Wow.
We got this boy, that boy,
Hmm.
that boy, and of course the signature boy that everyone has come to love.
With some farts at the end. Yeah, I mean, I used to work with this guy, and now he has an NFT collection. I mean, that's kind of strange character progression, but I can't say I'm surprised.
I know, right? Welcome to the modern age. Everybody you know has an NFT collection now.
Oh.
So let's see some other highlights of the direct. I think that the other really big one for a lot of people was that there's a new Wii Sports, which is like, I don't think anybody saw that coming. I think we already knew about the new Kirby game, not a huge shock. But yeah, just straight up a new Wii Sports, which I think people especially didn't expect because, you know, there's no more Wii. There's not a Wii or a Wii U.
Right. Yeah, I think people have been asking for this though. People have been waiting for Wii Sports to come back. And then of course like the Switch already had Ring Fit Adventure and other like capabilities that are like really compatible with sports. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like low key Ring Fit Adventure is great.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I was like using it for a while. But then I keep forgetting to go back to it. But it's a pretty good way to exercise. It's just like you can keep squeezing the ring and then it might not be like it adapts to your strength, but I don't know, I just feel like you have
well, look
to
at
if you
Nintendo ripping
wanted
off Rocket League here. Sorry.
if you want like a really intense workout with Ring Fit Adventure, you just have to squeeze this ring so hard that I don't know, like it's like if you really wanted an intense workout, it would take so long
Oh
that
yeah.
I feel like it's not very feasible. But
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I think that Ring Fit Adventure is much more of a game than it is like an actual exercise program. But you know, it's like it's a fun way to control a game differently than you normally would, and
yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, and then this is obviously much more of just straight up a game where if you want to, you can use all the motion controls, just like with the Wii.
Yeah. It also reminds me of like Mario Golf, which I reviewed last year, and I was playing golf on the stream actually. But it's like when I'm using the motion controls for golf, I have to focus on my motion rather than looking at the screen, and then I like my aim is completely off. So yeah, depends on how good you are, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I personally am very excited to be significantly better at bowling in this game than I am in real life. I used to play Wii bowling all the time, and I was great at it. And that does not at all, even a little bit, translate to the actual the bowling court, as they call it.
Yeah, I would be curious to see how difficult these sports are. Because I remember like Mario Kart on mobile is super easy. Like I destroyed everyone. But then Mario Kart on Switch, I'm not so good. So yeah, it depends on how they like make the aim and accuracy in the game.
Yeah, yeah. It could also be just that, you know, we're getting old, and so our esports abilities are deteriorating rapidly.
I think you should speak for yourself. I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't seem accurate at all. So
I guess that's true. I guess I am the only person in the world who's aging. It's a heavy burden to bear, but I'll do it. I'll
it's
do it
rough.
because I have to keep everyone safe. Oh,
Wow.
yeah, sorry, I was unable to look at chat while having the trailer full screened. So quickly, let's see what do we got. Um, don't forget about Mario Strikers. I
Yes.
won't, but only on the basis that other people care about it. I've never really been a soccer game person, so we can pull up the trailer. We
Wow.
can watch it. Let's see. Can we
Wow.
talk about how Nintendo devs felt the need to do a physical demo to explain how volleyball works?
Oh.
Yeah, that is true.
I
I guess
mean, what is volleyball? What is this alien sport you speak of?
Oh yeah, no, popular alien sport volleyball. It's interesting because it's a very different sport on other planets, given how different the gravity is.
And they have, like, more than one like, 2 limbs, right? So I don't know how
Oh
they
yeah, they probably have like 8 limbs. They're like Mortal Kombat Goro creatures. In fact,
yeah.
one person is a whole volleyball team in
So
space.
so, like, their volleyball looks more like dodgeball, right? Because
Oh
there's so many balls.
man, this is great. Wow, I love learning about alien sports. All right, let's
Yeah.
see. Overtime ring fit bumps up the difficulty. There's a ranking from 1 to 30. It mostly adds reps, but I find it pretty intense actually if you do a longer workout. That's neat.
Hmm.
Um, the position of the team is that we are seriously good. Everyone very excited by the Mario Strikers reveal. Okay, fine, let's watch that then.
Yeah, I am
I
excited for that too, but, I don't
out of
have
none
such a
of
close connection to soccer as I do with golf, so I don't know that I would be the one reviewing this, but we'll see.
mhm. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, new Mario Strikers is at least a very interesting prospect. Because when was the last one? It was like on Wii U. Is that correct? Wii U. I forget which platform it was on.
Somebody in chat should type the answer in.
Yeah. Yeah, please share with me your encyclopedic knowledge of Mario playing sports.
Bob
I
Bomb as
mean,
a soccer ball. It's pretty cool.
yeah. Oh no, I mean the whole look of this trailer is really dope.
Huh.
Like, if this is what soccer was like in real life, if soccer in real life was either this or Rocket League, then I'd be very into it.
Yeah, it just has the style of the trailer for Mario Golf as well, and that game, like, online player, I don't know, I had really bad Wi-Fi. It was just
Mhm.
a terrible struggle to play that with everyone else, and I was just running around dying. So actually, I found the other game modes in golf much simpler and cleaner. I
Mhm.
would probably play
Oh
those
yeah, I love
instead.
that song.
Yeah. Oh, that was also played in the direct yesterday. So.
Yeah, it was. No, I mean, what I hate is that that song works on me regardless of context. Like, as soon as I heard it play, I was like, oh no, I'm feeling emotional while watching a commercial.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, they really do. I was like, do I want to buy all the Kingdom Heartses again? Maybe I do. Yeah, no. Okay, one thing that I noticed in the trailer that I'm not sure if it's like how the game is actually going to work is it sort of seems like when you do like a super move or like a cool move and you score, like you get this animation style, this sort of
Mhm.
like anime type of
Mhm.
overlay. And
Yeah.
if that's the case, that seems really, really cool. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
pretty
like
cool.
this. Oh, that's so
But I
dope.
don't actually know if that's the case or if that's just like the gameplay
Yeah,
trailer.
that's
Like
just
it,
the trailer.
yeah.
I think based on how seamless all of that was, I think that's probably how it's going to look in game.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, this could be
Hmm.
fun. Yeah, you just need good internet. Of course, you have to like sign up for a Switch Online membership. It just said in the small fine print.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's the whole online membership thing. Let's see. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So Gecko Gamer says that the last Strikers was on Wii, I believe. Um, eh, there's robot soccer in real life, but it is mostly derpy. Yeah, that makes
Hmm.
sense. Robots are, at least, physical embodiments of robots are not as smart as you'd think. AI is getting there, but at least for
Hmm.
simple tasks.
Yeah, I haven't watched Robot Circ. I've watched like FIFA like World Cup. Um, that is not online, not in real life either. But
Oh, I actually just realized we can do an interesting exercise here. We can see what people are most excited for based on the number of trailer views.
yeah,
Because I just noticed that Strikers actually has a lot more than some of the others, and I'm surprised by that. Like Strikers has more
it has
trailer
more than
views
Kirby.
than Kirby, yeah.
Yeah,
679K for Strikers versus 561K for Kirby.
four
And then
million for
meanwhile,
the direct
Womp
itself.
Womp for Fire Emblem, 288K.
Yeah, I don't really know that I wanna sit there, like, hacking and slashing, for Fire Emblem, but,
You don't wanna do all of this good stuff?
I actually haven't
I
seen this because I was a few minutes late yesterday, but
Oh,
so
oh.
this is a world premiere to me.
Eh. Oh, sorry. Jeff Keighley voice. World premiere.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, no, this was great because for everybody, this moment played out exactly the same. Where this trailer started and people were like, "Oh my god, Fire Emblem Three Houses sequel, yes!" And then like we get to hear have all this, and then people are like, "Wait, what? No!"
this is great because I played Hyrule Warriors as well. It's like literally the same camera angle, and oh man, everyone's just gonna like all the enemies are gonna get like smushed into one pile again and fly
hmm
into the air, and it just won't end. I'll just go through the whole map doing that repeatedly for hours.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that friend of the show CC from Kotaku made a good point about this yesterday and saying that like Muso games are more complicated than just hack and slashing.
Hmm.
Like they are about kind of like controlling the flow of a battle on a battlefield rather than just mindlessly running into a crowd of enemies and swinging your sword or axe or whatever around
Yeah,
until they all die.
yeah, and like one of the fun things about Hyrule is like you can switch between characters and they're on different points of the map and they all have like different abilities. And I
hmm
think when you're playing Fire Emblem Three Houses, like it's very sad to see the three houses pit against each other and like some of them dying. Spoiler.
hmm
Um, but now maybe you can like wield all of them together to face a common enemy. I'm not really sure. That could be really fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my other question here is sort of like, with what you just said in mind, is this game going to have the sort of like permadeath setup that is present in Fire Emblem games? Like if you will you be able to lose certain characters permanently and have
That
that
would
same emotional impact?
be really bad because I probably just like have most of my team decimated and I have like one person walking around like where did everyone go? Yeah, I don't
Walking around being very
hmm,
sad.
yeah, I don't think they would do that, but then again, no idea.
Yeah, you never know. I think it's been interesting in recent times to see kind of like what gameplay elements from the original series that Muso games are kind of based on. They're now like adapting or trying to bring over in some capacity.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
mean, it could be. I'm not sure if they provided more details there.
Yeah, there's just been a
Maybe.
lot of these types of games recently. But I would still play it. Like Fire Emblem, I was in the middle of starting my second run. I got very tired because I always get caught up in catch like finding lost items for people.
Mhm.
Like I have to return them a book. So I go through all my characters like who owns this book? I
No.
have a free book and it takes me like an
Yeah.
hour. So
No. See, for me, I quickly got over that, and I just looked it up every time.
you looked at
I was like, "Here's this item
wow.
for."
Wow. I never looked up anything. I was like,
Really?
I'll
That's
just
incredible.
fish and I'll fish for
Wait.
hours too. Yeah.
Now I have to know, did you do that for a persona as well? Did you just, like, go through it without a guide?
Yeah, I did. I think there might have been one point where I was lost completely. It took me a long time to figure it out. I don't remember where, but yeah,
Mhm.
the entire game.
Wow.
I don't play games with guides. I thought you're not supposed to.
I mean, you're right, it is illegal, but, I mean, I do it for games like that because I wanna max out all my character relationships. I just want everybody to like me. And if
Hmm.
I don't relentlessly optimize my life, then not everyone will like me. And this, by the way, doesn't explain anything about me as a person or my own tendencies or anything like that. None of this
Oh,
maps onto my real life in any sort of way that maybe should kind of, give way to deeper self examination and
I
understanding.
yeah, that's you should look into that. But also, like, I think I just like to play the game as like I'm the high schooler, and whoever
Mhm.
likes me will like me, and if they don't, then that's too bad. And then also,
Man, it's not
I
even a
ended up
realistic.
I ended up with the person that I chose, like Makoto, so I
Mhm.
was like, "Ah, this worked out for me perfectly."
Mhm.
And then, I had my friend overlooking my shoulder, like, "Why didn't you pick Anne?" I was like, "Okay, I'll do another run where I end up with Anne, but
Mhm.
Persona 5." But, I didn't have time, I just got tired, so I I didn't do that either.
Nice.
Um, and for, Fire Emblem, I played
Mhm.
Cloud's Run,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, so
the
that's good for
Golden
you
Deer.
because this is gonna be the sequel to that run. People in the
Oh.
comments are saying this is a golden route. Um,
Ah, sweet. I think
yeah.
Claude is the right choice. I think that's why they did that because he's like the good person. Everyone else is like very edgy or emo or like they're going through life.
Or wait, maybe golden root, they mean like an additional third root where everyone
Oh.
wanders together. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I will say that I did not do the cloud route through this game. I went with Byleth, even though she's a war criminal.
Wait, Byleth is the main character. You mean Edelgard?
No. I'm sorry, Edelgard. Wow, my brain just
No,
went
it's
out.
okay.
Yeah, but
It's
anyway,
okay.
yes, I went with Edelgard, even though she's a war criminal. Um,
Wow, I did wanna do
yeah,
that next, but, interesting. Did you
yeah.
know she was a war criminal when you chose her?
I had seen people online making mention of that fact. Yeah, see,
You're
there we
so
go.
wow.
Yeah, never mind. I have people agreeing with me in chat, and by people I mean our video producer. But he just said, "Nah, man, Edelgard, best route, death to gods." Yeah,
Oh,
see,
okay.
he
I
gets it.
don't I didn't have time to do that, but that was my next choice. No, Cloud is just a good guy. He's, like, really charismatic and funny. Like, why would you not choose him? Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you like good people or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, I guess it's an uncommon opinion. Huh.
yeah, exactly. Let's see. So, oh yeah, other direct highlight because those were the main ones. But like, let's see, was there anything else that like super stood out to me? New Mario Kart levels for Mario Kart 8, which has been out since like what 2014.
Mhm.
That's
Well,
kind of
yeah.
wild.
Yeah, but you have to
Everyone.
pay money. It's not free.
Oh no,
It's
definitely not.
$25, and
Yeah,
it's not at the same time, like, so 48, routes
mhm.
added over the course of 6 waves.
Yeah, and like on
Or
one
co
hand, it's cool that Nintendo's supporting games like this now because they didn't always. But on the other hand, people are kind of taking the opposite tack now that they used to with Nintendo games. They're like, or you could just make Mario Kart 9 with that many levels.
Yeah. I guess people always have, like, nitpicks,
What?
but
No. People having contradictory demands depending on situations. I've never known people to be that way. They're very
mm,
consistent.
yeah. Everyone you know is Cloud.
Exactly. Um, oh yeah, Gecko Gamer says Klonoa. Yeah. Nintendo announced that what Klonoa 1 and 2 are both coming to Switch.
Yeah, I didn't put that in the article. I was like, I the event is ending. Here are the highlights. Here you go. And then some people are on Twitter saying, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Okay, so you see, it hasn't made the article." But yeah, that's happening.
Yeah. And Klonoa is like a kind of cult classic platforming series from the PlayStation 1 era. I
Mhm.
mean, it's interesting to see it resurface here just because it's like a blue furry mascot platformer. I
Mhm.
mean, very much born of the like era in which everybody was trying to make a character that looked like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Or Mickey Mouse.
I think that I'm gonna dispute that. I think this character looks way more like Sonic the Hedgehog than Mickey Mouse.
What about like the hat? And what about like the red shoes?
I mean, those are Sonic also has red shoes.
Uh-huh. What about like the gloves? Hmm.
The Sonic also has gloves, just like this.
What about the size of the character? Small character.
Sonic is also not known for his largeness.
Well, I don't really see your point here. I
Zing
think
that.
I rest my case, you know.
All right, fantastic. I guess that we can agree to disagree here.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so that's kind of the direct. It was a good time. There's a lot of stuff. I think that's pretty much everything that I found interesting from it. Oh yeah, they're doing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That was another funny rug pull moment in
Yeah.
that everybody saw the trailer begin and they were like, Breath of the Wild 2? Breath of the Wild 2 is dropping tonight. And then like immediately the first character they showed was like very much not even a little bit in the style of Breath of the
Mhm.
Wild 2. Almost
Mhm.
certainly just to make sure people understood that it was not that. And it's Xenoblade and it's just, another very talky JRPG.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is what
Well,
people are like, Breath of the Wild 2. They're looking
it's
at
good
this and it's
flute
like, I don't think
playing.
so.
Yeah. I mean, people were really like waiting for a lot of different things for like Mother 3. Yeah. So they didn't get what they wanted. But
Oh
I think
yeah.
that overall the direct was like well received. People were not like this is so quiet and boring and I am
Oh yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah, no, it had a lot of surprises, definitely. I mean, like in totality, in totality, they didn't add up to that much. And also they were very much surprises for like JRPG fans.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it by and large was like a solid direct. Especially given that it was sort of, again, for the first half of the year. So this isn't like, oh man, here are the big releases coming out in the distant future for you to get hyped about. This was like, yeah,
Mhm.
you'll be able to play these in a few months.
Yeah,
Except this one, which is coming out in September.
yeah, it's like a quick turnaround, like almost instant gratification for fans. So that's really good. But yeah, the calendar was like kind of empty before this direct, so it like really fills out what to expect and things to play, things to cover. So be
Mm-hmm.
exciting.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of wild that the calendar was as empty as it was going
Yeah.
into this because like the Switch is so popular and successful, and it still doesn't really feel like its library of software is caught up to that.
Yeah,
It
and
is.
the Switch OLED just came out, so like, what are people gonna play on that? There was like Arceus, obviously, and a couple of games that like need that larger battery life of like the new
Mm-hmm.
Switch. Because like actually the Switch itself, and not the OLED one, got like a system update in 2019. So if you like
Mm-hmm.
purchased it after 2019, it has more battery life than the ones
Mm-hmm.
before. So I had the old Switch, and then Nintendo was like, you can't run like Diamond and Pearl on here. You have to get a new Switch for this. So yeah, so like a lot of those fans probably have like the new hardware. They're like, what am I
Mm-hmm.
going to play on this? Metroid Dread maybe, but now you have a lot more options.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's pretty interesting. Also, something that was conspicuously missing yesterday. Um, if only, if only could have had a release date for Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, this is a beloved like Metroidvania style game that everyone was expecting to hear release date for
Oh yeah,
yesterday,
yeah.
but they did not.
I mean, I tweeted,
A little upset
send
though.
me your predictions, and people sent me like over 50 predictions. Most of them didn't get what they wanted, so
Yeah, yeah. Wait, what was the most frequently predicted thing?
you can go and look.
I hate looking. It's so much work. Fine, whatever. Go back over to the Kirby thing. Use it to search your Twitter because you won't do it.
Thanks. It's
All
like
right,
the
let's see
third
here.
thing, the fourth thing, the fifth thing. Scroll
No,
down.
let's just look at this
Oh,
instead.
great. Yeah, this is excellent. I mean, we're all thinking about this movie. Why are they?
Mhm.
Why not? Like, this is so natural.
Yeah, no, I also like the Silk Song sound effects playing in the background of this imagery.
Are we
It's
gonna get
total chaos.
DMCA'd? We should talk over it quickly.
Oh yeah, no, we're talking over it. We're doing a good job. It's
Okay,
fine.
great, great,
No one will
great,
ever DMCA us.
great. Yeah, so
Um,
that's it. There you go.
yeah,
50,
okay, so let's see.
exactly
Give me your
50
predictions.
predictions.
So
52
what did people
predictions.
think was going to happen? Let's see.
Hollow Knight.
Honestly, I like how you were just like getting a lot of troll and instances. But anyway, Bayonetta 3, nope. Surprise announcement of Metal Gear Solid HD port, nope. No mention of Metroid Prime or Breath of. Okay, that one's correct. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
that is from show watcher James Jackson, so he's
Yeah,
probably in
shout
chat.
out to James Jackson,
Yeah,
who
no.
was in chat.
Oh man, who was rip? Um, but
I
no.
is I don't know.
I'm guessing is, but we'll see. Let's see. Mother 3 still won't be announced. Correct. Although we got closer than we ever have.
Hmm.
Let's see. Microsoft has acquired Nintendo. No, that'll be
That
in like two.
was
That'll be in like two more directs. Let's see. Disappointment, some form or another. Not really. Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War remake. Nope. Expect plans for retro subscription, sort of something to take over the place Smash predictions used to have. Just Mario Kart levels. Um, let's see. Pokemon is the only thing that rivals Smash hype. Zelda reveal. Yeah, okay. Gold, silver. Yeah, no, a lot of the so what I appreciate is that at least a lot of the people that talk to you um do seem to have like reeled in their expectations to a semi-realistic degree.
right.
Like I mean this is somebody saying they're going big, but I mean a lot of these were like, yeah, no Zelda, no whatever. Um
Hmm.
yeah. See, here we go. Nothing new. Trailers for Kirby, Triangle Strategy, and some indie games. Yep, pretty much.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Splatoon 3.
Games. Games.
There we go. Nailed it.
That's right.
I'm going to this
That's what
person
we're
for all
Oh, well,
predictions are
actually,
wrong.
I've actually met him, at a Verge, 20th year anniversary party, or
Yeah,
10th year anniversary. Oops, 10 years, not 20 years.
is he a real doctor?
I don't know.
Huh.
But yeah, he was there. He was like, "Hey, nice razor mask that you're trying out."
And then he
Um,
was like, I am or am not a real doctor.
yeah, I don't know. He's just a huge, like, Verge fan, so
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that's enough direct. I just wanted to
Yep.
cover it from all possible angles. Moving on to other big stories of the week. Let's see. Actually, let's do these in order. So here's this consolidation story we published
Mhm.
that you and I both worked on.
Yeah, we worked on it equally. Yeah, this is I just love this graphic. There's a just
Oh yeah,
like
no,
stop for a moment to appreciate this graphic. So yeah, the little fish is probably
Mhm.
Activision Blizzard. Like the middle fish.
Really?
The middle fish is Activision Blizzard, the blue fish.
Oh, the bluefish. Okay, okay.
Okay, and then
Yeah,
it's trying to eat Zynga, but also trying
yeah.
to eat Geomedia.
Uh-huh.
So, honestly, those 2 fish should have been, like, parallel to each other rather than, like, eating each other, but yeah.
Mm,
And the biggest fish, as you can guess, is Microsoft.
is me. No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So we published this big story on industry consolidation that contained a lot of, I think, pretty interesting details about, especially kind of like what Activision Blizzard and Microsoft are facing going forward in terms of what may happen with the FTC investigating them. Because this is kind
Mhm.
of a point of like, right now, I think there are a lot of questions around how this might unfold. And I know that I saw some articles kind of early on in the immediate aftermath of the announcement that Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard, being like, it's going to, it'll probably sail right through. It'll be okay. But I think the people that we talked to kind of agreed that, like, no, it's, this is a new sort of era for the FTC, especially in this regard, and so they're going to be more aggressive on mergers and acquisitions, and that could result in Activision or Microsoft especially having to kind of deal with the ramifications of that, up to and including a pretty thorough investigation of this acquisition and a possible blocking of it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's good to figure out what are the possibilities and what experts in the field think is like kind of like the regulatory environment that
Mhm,
this Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal is coming in. And also, this was cut from the article, but I will say it's quite important to note
mhm,
that Lena Khan, the new commissioner of the FTC,
mhm,
has said that she would be more aggressive and like taking on like antitrust investigations, and so people are looking at the FTC as potentially going to make more aggressive moves against deals like this one with Microsoft and Activision Blizzard.
mhm. Yeah, yeah. Again, it's kind of a new era for both the FTC and the DOJ, which both end up kind of being involved in these sorts of things to varying degrees. And so, yeah, with that in mind, though, another thing that I learned that I found really fascinating in the course of reporting on this is that, as with any sort of government entity that is meant to regulate kind of business expansion, the FTC is like lacking in resources in ways that kind of and disable it from being as comprehensive as it would need to be. And so, like, I think going into reporting on this, both you and I were coming at it from the angle of like, well, what will determine the extent to which the FTC really gives this its all is kind of like the extent to which they care about or consider video games important. And then instead, what the people we talked to told us is that it would be more of a resources thing, that
Right.
like video games are a massive industry. The FTC is, or at least the current iteration of the FTC is aware of this, but the FTC was also like the sort of resources allotment they have in this particular regard was determined originally in the 1970s, and like it was built basically around the idea of like 150 major mergers per year, and now like that number happens roughly every 2 weeks, and yet the FTC still in this regard is kind of staffed up and given resources for that really small number. And so it becomes this question of like they've got to pick and choose their battles, right? Especially because these sorts of like investigations, when if they choose to block any of them, it's not just like a, okay, we're blocking you, go away sort of thing. It is a legal process. So it involves litigation and courts and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so a couple things. So you talked to one lawyer and I talked to
Mm,
another lawyer, and what happened was I think you talked to your lawyer first, and then you sent
mhm,
me like some notes. I talked to my guy to like check up on what was being said. I think the way that we like had this conversation, basically, we're talking about Take Two buying Zynga, Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, Sony buying Bungie. Of these three deals, the one that would draw the most regulatory scrutiny
mhm,
is Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, and the reason for that is because Microsoft just has a lot more market power. Like when you're looking at antitrust, you're looking at
mhm,
what share of the market does this company have? Microsoft is one of the biggest tech companies. It's in the
mhm,
story that it has over a $2 trillion market capitalization.
mhm.
When it purchased Activision Blizzard for roughly just nearly $69 billion dollars,
Yeah,
$69 billion. Um,
nice.
okay, great. Well, uh, it's only spending like half of its cash
Mhm,
that it has right now, so it has more money to go around to acquire more companies. And so
mhm,
that's why it would draw like regulators to look at. And also, Activision Blizzard is a company with around like roughly $60 billion market capitalization, market value. So, it's also one of the biggest gaming companies in the world,
mhm.
which makes this more notable than like say Sony and Bungie, Bungie being
Oh, yeah, by
smaller,
a long
or
shot.
Take Two and Zynga. Zynga's also smaller. Yeah, so that's like that's one thing. And then this lawyer was also like, yeah, you're right. Like the FTC might not have the resources, and then that would lead maybe this deal to pass really easily. Like
Mhm,
Microsoft acquired Bethesda, and that deal closed in 2021. I want to say it's also in the
mhm,
story, and that one did not face any kind of block from the DOJ or the FTC or the European Commission either. So that's also a possible outcome that this just easily goes through. But it's like because of the size of Microsoft that this could draw a lot of attention in
mhm.
that way. And yeah, I think that kind of covers what I was going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, to respond to Sean in chat. Yeah, I was saying, shouldn't this be being one of the largest acquisitions ever in the gaming industry dictate the importance of it relatively? Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what Shannon was kind of saying is that of the ones that recently happened in the gaming industry, this is definitely going to be the one that the FTC focuses on. But the sort of lawyer person that I talked to did say that this is kind of, the FTC's way probably of trying to take a bigger look at the gaming industry in general.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so basically the exact quote is um, when you're seeing not one merger or acquisition, but a whole slew of them at once, it's pretty clear what's going on. The industry is consolidating. I think you could look at the skepticism around Activision as the FTC basically saying we want to look at the industry structure as a whole. So it's a point of entry in a manner of speaking.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
two things on that. Like I did ask because I had heard somewhere, I think on a previous live stream that we did, that
Mhm,
maybe Congress will look at the gaming industry and just like the US government in general, will look at the gaming industry like a bunch of gamers in their mother's basement, who cares? And then they'll just let the deal pass that way. And then the lawyer I spoke to, Mitch Stoltz from the Electronic Frontier Foundation, he was
mhm,
like, actually, no, the games industry is like intersecting with like entertainment. So Hollywood and the music industry, and traditionally, like those industries have drawn antitrust scrutiny as well. So they're not going to escape the gaze of the FTC in this case.
mhm,
And then also, I would say that if you look at one of the bigger deals in history, in all of tech acquisition history, AT&T merging with Time Warner, a deal that took a couple of years to battle over. That one was blocked by the Department of Justice, and they
mhm,
had to fight over that for like 2 years before they were able to get approved. And then afterwards, they've like spun out. So after they merged together, like spun out some of the properties, like you know, just like eventually, like CNN got purchased by Discovery, I think. Yeah, just a lot of mergers and acquisitions in that front too. But like, if the government intervenes, like that could make this whole acquisition process take a long time.
mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. How do you think they'll delineate between the huge indie scene that sometimes makes big hits and the huge whale companies that participate in these acquisitions? I think that's just a matter of probably the money being thrown around and like again, probably relative capital.
Do you
Like,
mean are you talking about, like, antitrust? Oh, okay. Yeah, so,
yeah.
like, you would only look at market power, right? You're looking to see if, like, a company has a monopoly on that market. So, like, with the Epic Apple trial, which I covered for many years at this point, there's they were looking at so Epic was accusing Apple of being a monopoly, and they were saying, we define the market, in terms of, like, smartphones, in terms of, like, the Apple apps store being the market, and obviously Apple controls the entire app store, so they would have a monopoly on the app store if you're saying that's the definition of the market. But Apple was saying actually the market is all video game companies, or it could be like Sony, Nintendo, Epic, and all the publishers, all the platforms actually. So yeah, there was that like whole conflict there, and in this case, if there was antitrust scrutiny over Microsoft and Activision Blizzard, they would try to argue. Microsoft would probably say this is like a bunch of the market is like a bunch of video games, and we don't have complete control because Sony is bigger than us, right?
Mhm.
But if somebody were to argue that they are the monopoly, they might say like the market is tech companies and Microsoft is the one of the biggest. I'm just saying like we're not even at that point yet, but that would be
Mhm.
like part of what they look at in the future.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, no, that all makes sense. And that's the other thing is that like, you know, and I think that I said this on last week's stream too when I was talking with Rob and Ethan, is that it's not the most exciting thesis, but like the current kind of state of things is like we'll see. Time will tell.
Hmm.
Like there's a lot of things that we just don't know yet in terms of how this will actually unfold. Um, but the general kind of conclusion that at least people in the know seem to be drawing right now is that there will be kind of a reckoning here. If not a reckoning, then at least like an actual fairly thorough investigation and look into things. Oh man, Buckman234, I'm so sorry. You did miss mouthful mode. Though just for you, let's see.
You're gonna bring it back.
I'm gonna bring it back to one of the most important mouthful modes, which is
This
there we
Oh my
go.
god, are you serious?
Look at
Kirby
this.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um,
that's what we love.
yeah. I mean, I will say that just going back to the more serious topic of consolidation and antitrust,
I'm just gonna tell you right now, this is Kirby consolidating a car.
oh my god, oh my god. It's the video game industry consolidating with the car
Yeah, no,
industry and Disney intersecting with Nintendo. Yeah.
this is very literal vertical integration.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, the one thing that like normally when you write a story about like antitrust scrutiny, I what oh my god, okay. Well, you can like
I'm
you do
sorry.
that. I'll keep talking. Let's just like go on. Yeah. So like the one thing about a story like this, like reporting a story like this, is like
Mhm,
normally you get a lot of analysts saying like I don't know, and lawyers being like I don't know. But previously, like even just like last year when I was talking to lawyers about the Epic Apple case, they were like, oh, I
mhm,
don't think Epic is gonna win. Like Apple is gonna win because the status quo has always been like. If a company might be a monopoly and there's like some market power, it doesn't like the court and the US government is going to ignore that and let the company flourish because it's not like really the government is not really tough on monopolies. But now these lawyers are saying, okay, things are changing under the Biden administration, under like
mm,
these new politicians in power, and so that's actually quite interesting to
mhm.
see this like very long old narrative kind of shift for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. And yeah, I think that's the thing that that will
Great.
I know, right? It's just too funny. But yeah, I
Ugh.
think that that's again going to be kind of the determining factor in all of this. Let's see. Sorry, unrelated question. What's up with that strip light in the background? Yeah, I just bought that off Amazon. I think it looks cool too. That's why I turn it on every week for the stream, even though it's very distracting.
Hmm.
Um, all right. So enough of that. Although we can never get enough of Kirby fully loaded. God, this is so good.
It's
I
spelled differently now too.
yeah,
Who
it's a
said
parody of
this?
Herbie.
Oh,
Herbie
I
is like
see.
Disney. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
right, its name is Herbie. Oh, man. Oh,
Yeah, and then you have the little car under there. It's perfect. It's
it's
perfect.
very good.
Um, so in other serious news, despite mouthful mode, which I just want to stay with forever, want to be in this moment.
Oh, wait, but before
Um,
we get off,
no, no.
before we get off that topic, did we,
Mhm.
like, answer the Washington Post question to the Washington Post? How do we report that story out?
Wait, what did the Washington Post ask us? The
How
Washington Post?
did you can you talk about your process reporting out the
Oh
story?
man. Can we? Yeah, sure. Let's see. What was our process? I don't know. We just like reached out to a bunch of people. Okay, the end. No.
Wow. Well, I can just say it. So basically, I just asked this question to myself here,
Mhm,
but yeah. So I think we started off with like who should reach out to who has what contacts, and I was like, I'll do the business side of things, and I'll do like the Manticore CEO, and I'll talk to a business analyst, like get the
mhm.
kind of environment of like the industry, and then I think you talk to developers and like one lawyer, and I got the
Yeah.
other lawyer. Um, and yeah, and I tried to like check my lawyer against your lawyer, make sure they're either they agree or disagree and why, and
Mhm.
then, yeah, then we just wrote the story, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we like check them against each other. We talked to a bunch of like they're a game developer. There's one developer I talked to who's like we ended up cutting it from the story because there just wasn't enough space, but who like advocated for let's see, wait, I might actually be able to find the no one can see this on screen, so it's fine, but I'm going through my notes because I think the full quote might still be in here somewhere. But yeah, basically like it was a developer who's at Activision Blizzard who chose to remain anonymous and who talked about like the importance of unionizing and organizing in the face of this sort of a thing, basically saying that okay, here we go, yeah, the exact quote was the narrowing of prospective employers should serve as a compelling reason for developers to be more involved in this fight, not less. As power and employment opportunity becomes more consolidated in the hands of a few companies, our collective power will be one of the most important tools we can have to affect change and redress wrongs. And
Yeah.
we pointed to that a little bit at the end of the story in the form of a quote in sort of anecdote from another developer at Activision.
Yeah, actually just a
Yeah.
worker, not a developer, but yeah, Activision
Mm-hmm.
worker, I spoke to her and, previously I spoke to her, like, in January, and she was telling me that she was interviewing with Bethesda, and that was, like, very interesting to me because it was immediately after Microsoft announced it's buying Activision Blizzard, and I was like, "Hey, you're going from Microsoft to Microsoft?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I love to be in an industry that's shrinking to 3 companies."
Mm-hmm.
And so that always stuck out to me, and so we were working on the story, I was like, "I should go back and talk to her again and see if
Mm-hmm.
she wants to comment for this article because that is just like really indicative of the whole environment and situation of like
Mm-hmm.
if Microsoft buys all these companies, then when a developer is looking for a job, it's really like going between Microsoft to Microsoft.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the other thing I will say is I forgot to mention this. I think people have not really noticed this in the article, but
Mm-hmm.
really interesting point is like Microsoft has a corporate vice president, Julie Brill, who previously was a federal trade commissioner. And then I
Mm-hmm.
spent a bunch of time trying to track down what her role would be at the company and how, um, and if at all she would affect the FTC investigation into this deal. And yeah, I mean, the couple analysts and also Microsoft commented on this and said that she would not have any influence, but um, she could definitely, like, give some advice, but
Mm-hmm.
that is what Microsoft continues to say is not happening. Microsoft gave their statement there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's just, interesting to note that these companies, Activision, Blizzard, Microsoft, have former US politicians at the executive level,
Mm-hmm.
advising them, you know, with all matters, but yeah, Activision Blizzard has, those 2 other politicians, former politicians,
They actually have
Francis
three.
Townsend.
I
Yeah?
didn't catch this and put this in the story, but they do have a third actually,
Mhm.
um, who used to work for the Bush administration as well. He was a little bit, in terms of grabbing headlines, he was a lot quieter than Francis Townsend and Bulatao, or however you say his name.
Gelato, yeah.
Um, yeah, but no, there's they actually have three.
Okay, okay, well, can we update the story now?
Yeah, let's do it right now on stream.
Okay.
Let's show
Alright.
everybody our CMS.
Let's make sure that we, yeah, have everyone in there.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, we can do that. Um, but yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those things where, on one hand, it does seem like the days in which you could fully cozy up to the FTC or at least temporarily over, given this new administration. But it also seems like, again, there's still possible influence here in like Congress. And again, like you were saying, advice. I mean, like companies like Microsoft and Activision Blizzard don't hire these people for no reason, right?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, even like the former commissioner, another person, Maureen Olhausen, she like told me like, yeah, actually, there could be advice given. And then she would know, right? Because she also was a commissioner and
Hmm.
goes off to do other jobs afterward. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, interesting to know, and definitely something to keep an eye on in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, no, also totally unrelated, but Sean just suggested getting Gene on posters that I could then hang up in my room. And yeah, I think that's a great idea. Let's just get, the little Kirby Gene Park, and then we can sell that as merch. And so that's a new revenue stream for us. So Father Jeff will love that. And then also, again, no copyright infringement because,
uh,
Nintendo definitely isn't hyper litigious or prone to, for example, copyright striking anything that even smells slightly like something that they don't like. Yeah, let's do
that
it.
is actually a good reminder that Gene has sent me a poster. He's given me a poster of his own face, so I
Yes.
think I should just like tape that to my wall for
Oh my
next
God,
time, next
do you have
stream.
it around? Can you like get it and show it to the audience?
I can't get up right now, but yeah,
Ah,
it's over there.
what a bummer.
It's his face on the cover of Meme magazine. You should like just Google it. You can find it.
Yeah. Um, I mean, no, I only want to see the physical poster. A picture is boring. Um, but anyway, in other news this week, because we do still have some more to get through. So I published a story today that I've actually been working on for months, about video game studio Blackbird Interactive moving over to a 4-day work week, which has had profound impacts on the company. Basically, they, um, beginning in September of last year, started doing a test to see if the 4-day work week would work for them. They're a 300-person studio, so they're not like a tiny indie. They're a relatively like a mid-sized kind of, I think you would say, double A studio, and they're the company behind Hardspace Shipbreaker, which is really well liked on Steam. Currently working on Homeworld 3, which Gearbox is going to publish. But yeah, so they basically surveyed a bunch of people on multiple teams first to see if there's interest, and then they move forward with this test, across two different teams, one of which is the Shipbreaker team. And that's interesting because they are very late in development. They released into early access in 2020 and are right around the corner from releasing fully, doing their 1.0 launch. So basically shipping like the completed game. Um, and so like they were at this point where they had all these milestones they had to hit, all these deadlines. They have a publisher that they're beholden to, all this stuff. And so they were just like, oh man, how can we're already like burnt out and crunching. Like the one of the quotes from a survey, was that, yeah, basically one of the employees, and this quote got chopped down a little bit, but yeah, so they're stressed and burnt out from like having to maintain a or like a game as a service, and also, like talk to their community, talk to their publisher, and work on more content, and that it had taken a heavy and unexpected toll. So they're like at the end of their rope. And then also they're like, okay, time to do a 4-day work week test. And so the director of this game, when that idea was first pitched to him, was just like, no, absolutely not. This is a horrible idea. Um, let's see, his exact line was, yeah, my mind immediately went to, we can't do that. When it was first proposed to me, I just flat out said, no, it's not going to work for this team. And then plot twist, it worked for that team.
Hmm.
The 4-day work week was a pretty stunning success, basically across the board. Employees were interested from the get go, but like at the outset, I think it was like 82% of people thought that it was going to be better than a 5-day
Mhm.
work week, and by the end, it was 100.
Hmm.
Even the game directors, both the game director and the lead producer, both of whom were pretty skeptical at the outset, were like, "Oh yeah, it was just it's what we needed." The lead producer is the one who said that it saved them.
Hmm.
Yeah. So she was like, when the trial was over, it was obvious the 4-day work week saved us. I don't think we could have gotten to where we are today without it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's an important issue in the games industry is like overwork. And it kind of reminds me of when I talked to like Respawn devs about Apex Legends and like going through burnout in the pandemic, and eventually they had to cut down all their meeting times to like just be emails and like let people take as much time as they needed off. So
Mhm. Oh, did you wait? Oh no. Are you still talking? Did you freeze?
no, I did not freeze. I
Okay.
finished my
Okay.
sentence.
Sorry.
But I should just troll everyone
Oh
and just
no.
no.
What happened?
No, I'm just kidding, I'm kidding. I'm not frozen. But yeah, I guess it's not a good troll because
Mhm.
nobody can tell if I'm joking or not.
Yeah. Um, which game? So this is the main team involved in this. The main one that the story is about, because the other team was kind of like in pre-production, so they weren't quite as under the gun. Is so the main game is Hard Space Shipbreaker. Yeah, there we go.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no. So basically, yeah, it became this thing of like it ended up saving the day because they were in a place of extreme burnout and they had all these milestones to hit. And like the way that this sort of goes in a lot of game development cycles is companies and teams push past that and they reach the finish line and then everyone is just like, I've got nothing left. The way that actually the company's CEO put it, I think was pretty good because he basically said like, yeah, when people get stressed out and burned out, you can't really treat it. They need to take a big chunk of time off and even then they come back frazzled. And so, yeah,
Yeah.
the 4-day work week is kind of like a means of addressing it in a longer term way. It is not unto itself a silver bullet. It's not the only thing. Like if you do it, you're not suddenly like, oh man, there's never going to be crunch again, and like all our developers are super happy and suddenly like way more efficient. Like Blackbird obviously had to do all this work to make their processes more efficient, and even then, like some of the stats, it was interesting talking to all these developers over the course of months because I think that a lot of them were really high on the 4-day work week, but the numbers do suggest a fair amount of friction and like this kind of being a process as opposed to something that just happened. Like I think the most telling
Yeah.
stats are that yeah, of employees surveyed, 29% said they worked 32 hours per week. So only 29% actually did the correct number, like the correct number of hours. Everyone else worked more
Mhm.
than they were supposed to. So 47% said they worked 32 to 36, which means that they effectively, if they were 36, worked 1 extra hour per day every week. 12% said they worked 36 to 40, so almost the same number of hours that they were during the 5-day work week. And another 12 said that they worked more than 40. So that they worked overtime even relative to the 5-hour or 5-day work week. So, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I could say I can say from like, having worked in offices that like people are also available on weekends too. So like this is
Mhm.
just like trying to be like there some people are just and this reminds me of when I was talking to Respawn Devs and just like about Apex.
Mhm.
I talked to like Chad Grenier. He mentioned that like there are people who were like closet crunchers, right? And then you cannot really see them over the
Mhm.
Zoom call, like over their shoulder and Slack when they're remote from you, and you don't know who's like secretly working at some really late hours of the night. Some extremely like poor work life balance, but like people can't see them because they're remote. Um, and so mandating like having a day off kind of like builds that into the system rather than expecting everyone to take time off for
Mhm.
themselves and stop themselves from working. If you just say like, yeah, you can only work 4 days a week, that changes the calculus.
Right. And yeah, so this is one of the things that's one of the things that I found interesting, right? And this is something that I think gets talked a lot in the games industry, which is that crunch is kind of a culturally mandated thing as opposed to something where it necessarily arises from somebody making a direct like leads making a direct ask of people on their team. It's more like people see each other working more and they're like, well, if I don't, then I'm the odd person out or I'm letting people down or everyone's going to judge me or like there are all these different kind of cultural forces at play. And so this is also one of the kind of problems I think with the way that Blackbird is sort of doing this right now is
Hmm.
that their entire system is very top down, meaning that like as they view it, it's on leaders, it's on team leads, it's on management to sort of ensure that people aren't messaging each other in Slack on days off, that they themselves are not coming into work on a Friday, um, and all of these things. But the sort of like central contradiction I found in interviewing a lot of these team leads is that they were like, "Oh yeah, we were great on our teams about letting people use Friday as they wanted to, not pressuring them to get extra work done that day, all of this stuff." But then they were also like, "However, even though we're supposed to be the ones modeling better behavior, we were also the ones staying late or like working
Hmm.
on Fridays because we felt the need to use that time to organize things for the next week so that then our employ or those under us wouldn't have to work extra." But it's like,
Hmm.
but if you're modeling behavior where you're still working late, then you're still perpetuating that problem, even if it is in service of ensuring that people under you don't have to work late. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's tough to
So,
see what the solution to that would be, but yeah,
mhm,
that is a contradiction. Yeah, it's interesting to
yeah.
know. Um,
And so there's that, and then there's also just like I talked to people who either I talked to Emma Kanema, who is somebody that I think you're quite familiar with at this point,
Mhm.
a campaign lead at Code CWA, which is the labor union. It's also been working with people at Activision Blizzard that helped an indie studio called Vodio unionize. And so the interesting thing is Vodio also has a 4-day work week. They had one
Mhm.
before they unionized, and yet they still decided to unionize even in the aftermath of winning that fairly big concession, basically on the basis of like, we want to protect that, right? Like we
Right.
may have we got this thing, but we don't necessarily know that management would be incentivized to keep it if push came to shove. So we want to make sure that when if that time ever comes, we could go to the table and be like, hey, we're hanging on to this. You can't just take it away from us at your whim or because times got tough.
Yeah, I mean, Vodio is a very interesting example because it's like only over a dozen developers, and I talked to them as well about like what are
Mhm,
they trying to protect with their union. Like, do you have overtime and crunch, and like, or like, what is it that you're looking for? And they didn't like list out specific demands they have. It's just more
mhm,
like a blanket like protection. And yeah, they just like named all the different like issues within the industry itself, like including
mhm.
crunch. But when I said, "Do you have crunch?" they kind of like sidestepped that a little bit because yeah, like you mentioned, like they already have a 4-day work week. They're just kind of putting protections in place.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of exactly it, right? And so I also talked to people at another studio called Co-op. They're working on Goodbye Volcano High. They are a worker-owned co-op as opposed to like a more traditional union, meaning so like everybody who works there owns they more or less I think an equal portion of the company. Um, but they also in getting their own 4-day work week advocated for unionization at the time. And so I talked to their studio director, who was one of the main people, being like, everyone should unionize in pursuit of things like this. And yeah, he basically said like the only way protections for workers will be placed and maintained is through a redistribution of power toward workers to control their own destiny, especially, and this is I think gets at what you were saying, as business priorities shift, management changes their acquisitions, or management staff turnover can all disrupt pro worker policies. Um,
Hmm.
and so, yeah, I just like straight up asked Blackbird about that. I was like, yeah, is anybody trying to buy Blackbird? Is that on the table? And they said their CEO said there's been a lot of sniffing around and knocking on the doors, but they're not trying to sell.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then they also said that they would not be opposed to unionization. This is one of those quotes that I love to get from studios
Well,
because then later, if they do push back on unionization, you can be like, "Yo, what?"
well, also you can't actually it's illegal to union bust, right? So
Right, right.
no company is going to say, "Oh, I hate unions and I will
Mhm.
bust all of them immediately," because that would just be illegal. And so yeah, asking this question, I mean, it's good
Yeah, but I
to
mean,
I've also collected a bunch of statements like this.
mhm.
But I just would caveat that nobody's going to tell you that they are
Right, of course.
anti-union.
Yeah. Oh no, it's always more of the thing. And like on one hand, it's illegal to directly union bust. On the other hand, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of methods of legally union busting that companies employ all the time. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how, like, if people at Blackbird decide to unionize ever, that would play out. Because again, the other thing is that their shipbreaker is literally about, as they pointed out, a labor-led unionization effort at a space salvage company. So I mean,
Mhm.
like, but it's one of those things where you have companies saying the right things, um, but it's still, I think, important in cases like these for workers to ensure that they do the right things, because you never
Mhm.
know how things might change, especially in this time of consolidation and acquisitions. And even one of the specific examples that I think made it into the story, unless our dear editor Mikhail did not. Okay, yeah, he put it in there. Yeah, is that the sort of thing that we're sort of pointing to, or I pointed to as a possibility with the 4-day work week of it being removed, actually happened at Epic Games.
Mhm.
During 2020, Epic added a policy of having a 4-day work week every other week. And then, sort of in reaction to the pandemic. And then last year, they just got rid of it, even though employees were like, no, we love this. This is great for us. Please don't. Um, and employees don't really have a recourse in that situation because they're not organized. The company can just be like, yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think yeah, just like the broader trend of unionization is like some developers on Twitter were saying, oh, it's because like why video game companies did not unionize before is because they workers relatively got what they wanted in a
Mhm.
lot of cases, and so they didn't feel the need to do this. But I will say that yeah, like management has also put out different kinds of inquiries, like
And
with
employees don't
Activision
really have a
Blizzard, there
recourse
was
in
like
that
this email
situation
saying like, hey, if
because
you join this union, you could just like not join this union, and we'll change the company, and we'll like appease you,
Mhm,
And at this point, I'm still like continuously reporting this.
mhm,
But yeah, like Raven management has sent out like videos saying like, hey, so Raven wants to, the union wants 32 people to vote, but we think all of you should vote, and then the workers like have to see this like cheesy video with this like cheesy music,
great.
telling them to like all go vote. And yeah, that's like a very like subtle way to kind of like tell everyone, hey, we should get a whole studio vote rather than like 32 people that are all pro union. And then we don't know if the studio itself is going to be all pro union as well, like diluting the kind of like union vote through that.
Mhm,
So yeah, there's been a lot of like things that management has done over the course of time.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, Sean Burke just pointed out there's a great John Oliver segment on union busting tactics. Yeah, it was very good. Also, oh man, my favorite maybe antagonist from chat last week is back. Tommy Vercetti. I don't know. I
Oh, I
disagree somewhat with our let's keep things on topic. Tommy Vercetti can say silly stuff if he really wants to, as long as it's not objectionable. I don't mind.
oh,
Um,
I already I hid him from chat, so
bummer. I don't know. I enjoy as someone who enjoys trolling as long as it's good natured. I don't mind.
yeah.
Um, well, you can unhide him. You can leave him hidden. I don't really mind.
He can
Also, we just
submit a unban request, and then we can read it
and
on
then we
stream.
can read it live on stream.
Yes,
If
and we can
only
yeah.
YouTube had that functionality.
Oh, okay,
Alas,
they don't they don't have that.
no, they don't.
Okay, he
There's
can
too much
write me an
YouTube doesn't have.
email. He can
Oh
request an
yeah,
unban via email.
yeah, no, legit. Write one of us an email.
Okay, my email
Yeah,
address, please write this down, Tommy, if you're watching this,
mhm,
shannon.liao@washpost.com. Please write an email
yeah,
requesting why you deserve to be unhidden from this chat.
yes. All right, there we go. I'm excited to read or to see this email. Um, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, good trolling is good, as people say. Banhammer law. Also, yeah, a few new people I think just popped into the stream. Welcome everybody who showed up. I don't know where you came from, but it's cool that you're here. Please stick
Yeah,
around.
welcome. We should actually do a segment where we read reader emails. I've gotten a lot of fun ones over the year.
Actually, yeah, that would be fun. We need to keep that in mind for the future. Nathan, troll me, Zaddy 2022.
God.
Extremely good. Thank you. Oh gosh. Let's see. Originally, I was going to suggest that we watch some of our own content on stream,
What?
but we're
You
running.
did not
We've
tell me
already.
about this. I don't know if
Oh,
I want to do that.
no, I was going to specifically watch our Pokemon video from this week, but
Oh yeah,
it's
we could do
already.
that. I'm not in that video. It's fine. We can
Yeah.
watch
Oh
that.
yeah. No, exactly. It's just Gene and John talking, but I think that we're running low enough on time that we can kind of skip that for now.
I thought you were
In
gonna like play
favor.
a video of us in the previous stream
No, I'm gonna.
watching
Yeah, no, I'm
watch
gonna like.
ourselves.
And then the next week, I'll do a video of that video of us watching the previous stream, and I'll just make it longer and longer every week, so
Yeah,
that
it's
eventually
like
it's a hall of
us
mirrors.
of the stream last week, watching the stream from the previous week, watching the stream from the previous week of the previous. Yeah, there we go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Someday. But no, I'm gonna skip all of that for now, because it is instead time to go into a story about how Wordle saved somebody's life.
Wait, I was like, this is not video games. What are you talking about? Did you click
No,
on the wrong link?
it's Wordle. Let's
Oh,
see.
oh
Yeah,
no, this is so scary. Oh my
yeah,
god.
no. So basically, this person was like, yeah, like they were in trouble, and the thing that tipped off their daughter was that they didn't send their daughter a Wordle in the morning, and that was disconcerting to her. So friends and
Wow.
family called the police, leading to an hours-long standoff with a kidnapper. Finally, the SWAT team used a stun gun through this hole in the door to subdue him.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wordle
Yeah,
saved a life.
yeah, I mean, I feel like Wordle is really bringing people together. I think at some point I saw on Twitter like QAnon conspiracy theorists were playing Wordle now, and that distracted them from the conspiracy theories, or you know, like even last night I spent like hours talking to my friend about Wordle.
Mhm.
And then she was like, "Hey, have you tried double Wordle? Have you tried Dordle?" And then I like also spent another hour solving yesterday's Dordle, which is actually today's Dordle because it was like midnight. But yeah, it's a great game. It just brings people
Mhm.
together.
I mean, it's a great game, but one of the other things that happened in the world of Wordle this week is that people have figured out the optimal starting word. There's now a Wordle meta, for better or worse. And I know that Shannon, you have opinions on this.
No, the best starting word is adieu, which means
Is it?
goodbye in French. Yeah, because you get A-D-I-E-U. You get like so many vowels, and you also get like D and a D, which is like a pretty common letter if you look at your keyboard, and
Mhm.
ASTF. Yeah. So
So you say this, but are you the concept of math?
Oh man, we had some math jokes before. What were we saying? Math is smart. I don't even remember anymore.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah.
math
Oh,
is
it
probably
was
the name of joke.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
Anyway, it's fine.
Um,
No, I'm not. No.
because yeah, apparently crane is the best word. Um, but this is also so very interesting to me, at least, because it's like, we live in a time now where like every word ends up or every game ends up having a meta, and
I
it's
would
like,
say I disagree with this guy. I know he used math and whatever, but like everybody's brain works differently, right? So like when I think of adieu, I get like all the vowels and I can sit there going through every word combination of all
mhm,
the vowels and then I can get the word instantly. And so if you like look at I have created a record of all of my Wordle results
uh-huh.
and I always get the word in like 3 tries, like at most.
Wow, are you
You
just like fully bragging right now?
Maybe. No, but, like, I get them in 3 words because of adieu being that good. I'm not bragging for myself, I'm bragging for the word adieu, which is French. Yeah, that's it, I rest my case.
Wow, okay. Oh yeah, no. Buckman just said using math to figure out English problems. Yep, that
Yeah,
is the
that's
state
kind
of
of
things at this point.
gross.
Also, Val Gang. Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Wait, the real best word is homie? Is
I mean, I
it?
think that's just the best word in the English language.
Does that even work? Is that even
Yeah.
a word on Wordle? Hmm.
All right, so you've got to try Homie now and report back with your findings.
I think you should try it. I've done the Wordle for today. I mean,
I'm actually not much of a Wordle player.
hmm.
I have very much been somebody who has let this trend play out around me, just because like it started right with my grudge against the word Wordle. And I was just like, oh, it's such a dumb word, and I keep seeing it everywhere.
It's
And
like
so I just like
Wordles
it is like
from The Good
Bortles.
Place. Yeah.
I also, speaking of puns on that word, I saw that there's finally a Pokemon based Wordle spinoff, and it's called Squirtle, obviously. And I was like, no, you have to call it Word Turtle
No,
because then it's like
no,
War Turtle. I can't
no, no,
believe people got
Squirtle is
this
so
wrong.
much better. What are you even
No,
talking
no,
about? What?
because Squirtle evolves into War Turtle, and it's a
Okay,
Word Turtle.
no, but like Squirtle is just like so easy to say. War
No,
Turtle just sounds like you stuttered while you were saying Wordle.
and maybe I did.
Ugh, ugh, okay.
Whatever. Word Turtle versus Squirtle. It's fine.
You
I
know,
know that
if
I'm
you were
right.
more of a Wordler, we could have made a weekly
Wordler.
segment of Wordle.
I mean,
But
well, maybe I can get into Wordle entirely just to create the segment. I've done
mm-mm.
worse things for content. In fact, I would argue that pretty much everything I've ever done for content was worse than that.
Yeah, that's a great argument. I mean, why not start here with homie?
All right. Yeah, we can try it out, find out what happens. World of Wordle, the new wow. Wow. World of
Ah.
Wordle is so
That's
hard
like
to say.
that's
Holy sh
a what is that, like a metaverse of Wordles? That's like Wordle, Dordle, like there's a Chinese Wordle, there's like a gay Wordle. I don't I don't know what the other ones are called. There's a country Wordle. There's one where you can guess the country, you have unlimited
Yeah.
guesses.
Wait, isn't that just GeoGuess? Can we get a Nathan is wrong going in chat? No. No.
Yes,
L
do
plus
it.
ratio plus.
Oh my god.
Oh man, unfair. But I guess if one does start going in chat, I'll probably just take the L. L is a letter in Wordle, right? L is a character in Wordle, in popular word game Wordle.
Not enough letters, so no.
Oh really? What?
Mm. You need
Terrible.
like 5 letters per word, so no.
Mhm. Wow. Dang. I don't really know anything then.
Mm,
This is awful. We should move on before I embarrass myself even more.
mm.
Um, here's something else that you'll be able to speak to because you've been playing it a little bit, I think, which is that Lost
I
Ark.
have not been playing this.
You haven't been playing it?
I
Oh,
opened
you
the
played a little
game.
bit.
I opened the game. I haven't had time to play it.
Wow, that's really funny. Okay, so how's the opening screen?
Well, you see, I opened the game, and then
Uh-huh.
I immediately, like, did other things. I continued to work, so, actually, I disconnected from the game, so I didn't even
Wow.
get to the openings. But I did play, like, in the beta version, I played, like, what, 5 minutes?
Mhm.
It's good. It looks nice. I'm gonna play more of it. I'm excited.
Yeah, so for
But
the
yeah,
uninitiated,
it is a 4-year-old
yeah.
MMO. That's right, it is.
Yeah, so for the uninitiated, Lost Ark, which actually isn't even, I think, fully right on this one. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, quick digression. Nathan is right on this one. Word turtle. Yes. Ah, let him be.
Who said
Yeah.
that? Who Oh
Yeah.
my god, Buckman?
Buckman, who's a hero.
Seriously, seriously.
Yeah.
Alright, but
All for-
I think Buckman is in the minority here. I think everybody else is like,
I
"Nathan's
mean, I don't
wrong."
know. It feels
Heard
like a
it here
50-50
first.
split right now.
Mm.
Also, Imp Grievous says L is the antagonist of the critically acclaimed JRPG Wordle. Exactly. And on that note, I mean, given yesterday's direct, when is Wordle coming to Switch? Like they announced
Uh,
every other JRPG yesterday. Where's Wordle?
Honestly, with all the acquisitions and things, I'm sure the New York Times could cough up a acquisition or like a deal with the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Like,
real.
Neopets is coming to the Switch one day.
I mean,
Among Us is already on the Switch. Why not?
w- why is the New York Times not on the Switch? Just like let me,
Yeah.
turn on my Switch, front page of the New York Times, all the latest breaking news.
Why is
And
the
by this
Washington Post not
I
on
was
the
about to say,
Switch?
and by this I of course mean get the Washington Post. I mean not the New York Times. I'd never say that. I don't read the Times. I hate the Times. Yeah, there we go. Washington Post all the way. WaPo supremacy. Bow down before Daddy Bezos. I think I've said all the things I need to keep my job.
I cannot believe you just said, "Oh my god." Okay, well, let's move on quickly. I don't wanna hear that. I wanna unhear that. Oh.
I don't know what part of that you found objectionable at all. Sounded good to me.
Yeah, nothing. Let's go. Let's move on.
Yeah. But yeah, no, speaking of things that are related to the good father Bezos and Amazon,
Oh my
um,
god, it's still going.
uh,
Oh,
so Lost Ark is an action RPG MMO that is blowing up on Twitch right now.
yes.
And this is in part because it's like, a big new game. And I think a lot of big streamers are embracing it, but it's also because it includes Twitch drops. And
Mhm,
Twitch drops basically are the ability of certain streamers to enable viewers to get in game items by watching them.
mhm.
And so, like, of course, everybody under the sun is going to be watching on Twitch right now because they can just take the game or they can just take a stream, leave it on in the background, and unlock free stuff. Um,
Okay,
sorry.
please don't transcribe this. I'm trying to, like, erase this from my memory, but thanks.
Unfortunately, I have to.
No, 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 I'm
Uh,
not talking to you, I'm talking about Sean. Sean, don't transcribe what has been
no.
said.
Sean just said, "quote I
Okay,
hate the
okay, don't
times.
don't
Bow down to
read.
Daddy Bezos, Nathan
Oh,
2022." I
oh
mean,
my
it's real. I
god.
said it,
Oh
and then I
god.
read the quote, so I double said it. Yeah.
Let's move on again. Alright, well, I mean, technically, this is, like, also from Bezos, like, Amazon, is publishing this game. I will say that, having, like, played MapleStory and, like, League of Legends for a long time, like, the same kinds of gamers on those games were like,
Mhm,
"Lost Ark," and, like, a couple years ago, like, they're telling me, "Lost Ark, you should get on this game." And so I've always been, like, messaging, Smilegate and, like, Amazon, like, "When can I play this game?" And now
mhm,
I have had the chance, and then Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, so I've just been so busy, I haven't had time. But yeah, I think it's, like, from the character screen,
mhm,
looks really good. You get to try out different classes before you actually select them.
mhm.
I'm gonna play Assassin to stay true to, like, the MapleStory roots. That's all I
Nice.
can say for now, I don't know. There's also, like, a gunner,
Mhm.
female or male gunner. That looks also look pretty good, but I went with Assassin, so.
Yeah. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see if this game stays big because like I think the problem that Amazon has had, I mean, initially Amazon's problem is that nobody played any of their games. Then they finally released something that people liked in New World, but New World didn't really have any staying power. And so now they're just publishing somebody else's game that's been around a lot longer. And as a result, I would assume actually has like end game content and stuff like that, which would
Yeah, yeah.
presumably give it more staying power. But is the game itself good enough to even sustain the kind of audience it's attracted beyond Twitch drops and like initial hype? Or will it, will its Steam numbers and Twitch numbers drop off after a couple weeks, as these things tend to do? In fact, I'm curious enough to go to Twitch right now and look
Yeah,
at its
so
numbers
so I
just
would
to
say,
see what we're
like,
dealing with.
when Crucible launched, like, Twitch and, Amazon Game Studio did not collaborate enough to, like, put Crucible in any kind of, like, position to be advertised, so it was not on the front page of Twitch, and, like, people did
Hmm.
not notice this game, and it died off really quickly. New World at least had a collaboration with Twitch and, like, showed up on the front
Hmm.
page, and, like, that was sustaining it. Lost Ark, I will say, having not played this game at all, but just knowing, like, how often MapleStory is, updated, like,
Hmm.
once a week with a lot of content, and
Man,
it's, like,
that's
a very
absurd.
old game. I think Lost Ark has plenty of content. I'm just gonna say, it just depends on, like, what people wanna play, though, because, like, Blade and Soul died out too, like,
Mhm.
people love that game, and that was, like, a similar vibe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, like, a lot of these, I mean, it's definitely, like, a combination of things for these games to, like, really take off and have staying power.
Mhm,
But it's also, like, sometimes just alchemic mixtures of both what the games have in them and then just, like, the timing of them, like, when they come out and, like, which major influencers continue to play them and, like, the schedule of releases afterward and all these things. But, like, right now, for example, and, like, this is very preliminary data, right? Like, the game, again, I think is officially out maybe today. Um,
tomorrow.
but okay, tomorrow, so it's not even out yet properly. But in terms of Twitch viewership, it's already been like massive peak of over 1 million. Barely any games ever hit that. But
Mhm.
then like next day's peak, 500,000, almost 600,000. Next day's peak, 400,000. So, it's one of these things where like hype can account for a lot of it, as can drops. We'll see what happens after that. But
Yeah,
it's always
we have
interesting
to.
to me because, as I sort of said in this tweet that I now have gone over, like a lot of people look at this and they're like, it's the new Twitch hit. It's going to be the next big trendy game. It's the next Among Us. It's the next Fortnite or whatever. And it's like, no, that this means, relative to that perspective, this currently means nothing. Like, we'll see. Oh yeah, and then yeah, Buckman just said I watched a little bit of it. Gameplay looks like a typical KRPG, Black Desert vibes. Wasn't that great of a watch. And it's
I
sort of the
will
thing.
say, well, like, there is a little bit of demand for this genre of game right now, like,
Hmm.
between, like, people not playing World of Warcraft as much, people playing Final Fantasy.
Hmm.
There was appetite for that, like, that's why New
Oh yeah,
World
yeah,
did
yeah.
well initially, and then Lost Ark, I would say aesthetically, it's, like, definitely going to be a different vibe from New World.
Mm.
It's gonna be much more, like, Korean, obviously, and then that could also, draw people in, but I will say that, it could also just be, and I made this point earlier in, like, a team meeting, but, like MapleStory, like, it doesn't have a lot of concurrent viewers. I don't think anyone's watching it on
Hmm.
Twitch per se, but it just has, like, a couple of big spenders, like
Yeah,
whales, to sustain the
whales.
game, and that could just make it have, like, longevity regardless of who is watching this on Twitch, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, also totally unrelated side note, but somebody is cooking something in my building that smells extremely good. I can like smell it in my apartment despite the nearest apartment being like multiple kind of like door lengths down. And yeah, just what is that? It smells great. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with everyone because why not? Um let's see, Jonathan, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name because it has too many letters from the end of the alphabet in it. Um it is better than Black Desert. I'll take your word for it. I also haven't had time to play it or much of anything this week because I was busy reporting out two major stories that I'm so
Black
glad
Desert's,
finally
like,
ran.
been around for a while. I would say
Mhm.
that I actually never got into that either, but it's the same, like, group of people playing that game as they
Mhm.
would play Lost Ark.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, I mean, that game still goes on, like, it's very popular even now. So, yeah, I mean, if it's anything like Black Desert, that's also a good sign for Lost Ark, I would say.
Yeah. But yeah, another interesting thing to note here is at peak, look at the number of channels that were playing this game. 12,000 different
Wow.
channels were playing Lost Ark. That's so wild.
Yeah.
That also implies, again, a concerted push on Amazon's part to get people to play this.
Yeah. I don't
Um,
know, like, what is the market share of, like, Korean, viewers on Twitch or whatever, but,
mhm.
like, that game's already been out there for 4 years, so
Yeah, let's
I
see.
assume there has to be some of these channels.
Find out. I don't think we'll be able to find out viewer numbers, but we can maybe from Solynome, which is a third-party analytics
Right.
service. pull the number of Korean streamers if you know a popular Korean streamer's name. So then I can just
I
hop
do
over to the
not.
channel and click the Korean language option and find
Oh,
out.
hey, there's one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, is that Chinese or Korean? That's Korean.
Yeah. Let's see. So we clicked that, and then do they have yeah, language Korean? Oh, we can't click it though. Annoying. They don't sort that way.
Well,
Well, whatever. Anyway,
what games are this person playing? Dying
I
Light?
mean, probably standard popular stuff.
Okay, cool.
Just chatting. Yeah. Anyway, moving on from that, because I think we've spent a lot of time on that
Yeah.
topic. Um, so the other big Twitch news of this week is that, surprising no one, honestly, Pokimane is staying on Twitch. So
Mhm.
basically, last week she announced the end of her exclusive contract and said she was going to take a week off, and then announced where she was going next. And she like had a red heart in the post, and people were like, "Yeah, YouTube," and like invariably and unshockingly, Pokimane announced this week that she is staying on Twitch. Which, you know, as I had pointed out to me by some folks who I talked to about all these things, it wasn't very surprising because when she made that announcement that she was like her contract was up, if you went and looked at the page for the Twitch app on mobile, the first image was still a giant one of Pokimane's face. And like Twitch is, you know, they make their mistakes and they have their blind spots, but they're very precise about what happens when somebody leaves their platform. Like they
Mhm.
pretty much immediately pull like advertising involving them. And yeah, so the fact that she was still on all of that stuff and was also on like a leaked ad for a new thing that they were going to start announcing. I forget what it was. Like, yeah, there was no way. There was simply no way that they were not that Pokimane wasn't going to re-sign with Twitch.
Well, you successfully guessed it. Just like as an onlooker, I was like, why are you saying you have a platform announcement and you're saying your contract is ending?
Mhm.
But also this is very troll and like, why are you giving away a car as
Right.
a platform announcement?
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, so instead of choosing, because the meme had already been that people like made their announcements with cars. Ludwig did that. That was like his big kind of thing, and he like blew up a car. And so instead of doing that whole thing, she decided to give one away because, you know, she wants to be very fan and viewer friendly. That's always been her brand.
uh-huh.
Um, and so, yeah, there's that. She also made some interesting notes in talking about her decision to stay on Twitch. She
Mhm.
said that she was very happy with her new deal, especially after her previous deal, which had just expired, because at that point, Twitch actually paid her less than other platforms had offered her, but she chose to stay on the platform for 2 additional years anyway.
Mhm.
This time, though, she said that she mainly went with Twitch because of chat and the community. And this is the most telling quote, I think. She said this all during her stream, by the way, when she was making the announcement a couple days ago that she was staying on Twitch. But anyway, she said, I don't feel like there's a streaming community on YouTube. Oh, for us. Um, I feel like there are streamers there, but a lot of them, if anything, interact more with the Twitch community because we have more interactivity built into the website. And I don't think she's wrong. I mean, I think
Mhm.
that all the major streamers on YouTube still constantly are like hanging out with Twitch streamers. Like they're not
Yeah.
really they don't really, aside from like there's kind of the little core group of like what Tim the Tatman, Dr. Lupo, Dr. Disrespect, sometimes Courage, who like kind of play games together. But then you have like Ludwig and Valkyrie and people like that just hanging out with like the Twitch community. So hanging out with like Pokimane and the whole Disguise or the whole offline TV crew and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think it's just because like it's a better platform for having community, at least when it comes to streaming. And yeah,
Yeah,
she goes,
yeah.
oh
I
yeah,
think
good.
definitely for streaming, but, like, yeah, there's, like, also, like, YouTube subscriptions, you can have,
Mhm.
like, a little community and, like, posts, like, preview links to, like, videos that are coming up, and I think, like, VODs in terms of, like, accumulating viewership over time is, like, a lot, stronger
Oh
than,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
streaming because like, you don't have to, like, count on, like, these 30,000 people are gonna be there with you when you're live, you can just, like,
Mhm.
accumulate millions of views over time, so it's just, like, different strokes for different people, like, that it works out for, Pokimane because she does live streaming as her
Mhm.
predominant way of, like, revenue.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and so this is the other funny part of all of it, right? Is that it's this is not to say Pokimane's not going to have a presence on YouTube. She always has,
Mhm,
and she was saying that she's actually, even though she decided to re-sign with Twitch for exclusivity when it comes to streaming, she's going to ramp up her YouTube content, um, because she can still create non-streaming content on YouTube. So she was like, somewhat ironically, her plan now that she's got this new Twitch deal is to make more YouTube videos. So
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, it's just like endless YouTube videos that she can just cut from her Twitch stream. So I've yeah, I spent like a lot of 2020 like watching her YouTube channel videos. So yeah, a
Mhm.
lot of them are just like from Twitch and edited down. And I find it to be like an easier way to get that same information without having to
Mhm.
sit there for hours. But yeah, it's definitely a strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what that gives way to. I know that that XQC also pretty recently re-signed with Twitch. He's also got another 2-year deal. So, it seems like Twitch is once again moving to lock down its biggest stars while letting some other people walk to places like YouTube.
Hmm.
Um, but anyway, let's see. Beyond that, I'm going to do a quick speed run of other Twitch news because it's just a repeat of Twitch news from previous weeks and months to a hilarious degree. So, people got mad at Valkyrie for saying that you shouldn't quit your job to become a streamer, which seems like very common sense advice to me. But whatever. People were like, "You can't say that. How dare you?" It's like, okay, well, like tons of streamers have already said that. And in terms of Twitch being like a viable platform to start building a career on, it's not. It's horrendously overcrowded. There are 8 million streamers a month that use it, so there's nothing wrong with what she said here. Let's see. People got mad at Hassan for buying a car. They also got mad at him for buying a house. Sorry, but yeah, he's a just because he's a leftist doesn't mean he can't also be kind of rich. Um, you know, being an entertainer who is on the left doesn't make you a vanguard of everything. And also the goal that anyone on the left is pursuing is that everybody can have cool things and a nice life.
Hmm.
um, so yeah, anyway, people got mad at him again. That's how it goes. And then also Minx, a fairly popular streamer on Twitch, got banned for using the word cracker in a derogatory fashion, just like Hassan and
The
Vosh specifically.
replies,
I know,
the
right?
first reply.
Yeah, from Code Miko, who's amazing, by the way. Code Miko is one of my favorite streamers on Twitch. She's like
Hmm.
a video game character come to life.
Hmm.
She's fantastic.
Hmm.
But yeah, the replies are very funny. So anyway, all the stories from previous weeks, all of which I've reported on varying capacities at other points when they happened to other streamers, happened again this week. How fun!
Great.
Um, the more things change, the more they stay the same, especially in the world of live streaming and content creation. Let's see. Other things that were well wait, I'm gonna give chat a second to reply because I've been outpacing chat. Have they seen Hassan's old car? Oh yeah, isn't his old car like really terrible? Like isn't it not at all a good car? I've not personally, I mean, we can just Google this right. Hassan old old car. Let's see what we're working with.
uh, are
Oh
they
no,
just gonna be
it's all gonna be
Photoshop
Photoshop.
photos of him in cars? Oh, come on.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty funny. If anybody has an image of his
Oh,
actual
is it
old
this
car
car on the bottom, like, left?
on the
No,
bottom left,
no, no.
no.
I think you have to search his streamer name, not, like, just his first name.
I
No.
mean, I can't. I don't see it. I guess I'll never see it. I'll never see his old car. We'll just see all these pictures of him.
You'll have to link us to the old car. Whenever
Yeah, if
you
anybody
mention
in chat has
something
it.
in
Yeah, he
chat,
had a
just link
beater,
it.
so he deserved an upgrade. Yeah, let's see. Anyone can make it streaming. Be willing to work hard, stream for hundreds of hours per month. Exactly.
Oh.
Super easy. Yeah, I mean, I'd do if I weren't so darn busy. You know, doing anything else at all aside from
Yeah,
streaming
I will say
constantly.
last year I started a Twitch channel and I made it to, like, 100 followers, just,
Mhm,
like, streaming, like, twice a week for, like, 3 hours, per session, so, like, maybe, like, 3, 4 hours,
mhm,
8 hours a week, and I did this for, like, a couple months, and then I was like, "You know what? I'm very tired,
mhm.
and I can't possibly do this." So, that's
Yeah, no,
why
it's
that's why if
exhausting.
you're wondering why I'm not Twitch streaming, that's why I'm not.
Yeah, no, I say this at the almost every time we do this show now, but like I reach the end of, oh hey, Andrea, hi.
Oh, hey.
um, but yeah, no, I say this at the end of almost every episode or installment or whatever you want to call it of this show. But like I'm tired at the end of this doing this for like 2 hours every week. I don't know how anybody does this 8 to 12 hours per day, 6 to 7 days per week. That to me is truly mind boggling. I couldn't do it. I would probably literally die. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Yeah, more power to folks who do this for a living. Because the other part is, your time in the sun only lasts so long. I think a lot of people, they probably end up falling off after a little bit, both in terms of the amount of time they can stream and their popularity and the amount of money they can make off of it. And so if your career can only last you, 5 to 10 years tops, then you need to make as much money as you can within that time span so that you can live off of it for the rest of forever. Um, yeah.
Great. That's why
So,
people are getting into NFTs. No, no, I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Um,
kind of, for better or worse. But anyway, let's see. Is there anything else in chat? I'm enjoying your live stream. Thank you, human times two.
Also,
That's
yeah,
super
Andrea, it was Cars 3, by the way. Yeah, it
cool.
was Hassan's old car. It was just a car from Cars 3
Wait a minute.
before
If it
Kirby
was a
ate
car
the
from
car.
Cars 3 and he drove it, like, does that, if somebody gets into a car from Cars, the series, these cars that are alive, obviously, does that like kill them? Like, I mean, because you're like in their
Dark.
insides at that point.
No, actually, I can confirm. I went to Disneyland. I saw Lightning McQueen,
Uh-huh.
and you can get inside him if you'd like to. It sounds really bad.
And
But
he
yeah,
doesn't
I
like
mean,
just
you're
scream in agony. He's not
you could
like,
just take a
please.
selfie with him.
Okay, because if
Uh,
somebody, yeah,
yeah. No, he says some canned phrases like, "Hey, how's it going?" No, I don't know what he says,
like,
but he
hey,
says something.
what are you doing in my guts? Please leave. Oh my God. Who are you? Get out of my house. Yeah.
Mm, hmm,
Okay. Well, cool.
rough.
Anyway,
Yeah,
yeah, just normal
yeah,
canned Disney phrases.
yeah, yeah.
All right. In other significantly less important news than whether or not cars are in pain if you get inside of them, Ubisoft is changing the way that it approaches Assassin's Creed, at least leading up to Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is going to be a live service platform for Assassin's Creed. Um, Apparently, the next sort of game that we're getting in the series, according to reporting by Jason Schreier, my old colleague from Kotaku, is that instead of there being an expansion to Valhalla, which there was going to be, it's now going to be a full new game. It's going to be smaller in scale and kind of more stealth oriented than previous games in the series. And yeah, it's going to star Basim, a popular assassin character from Valhalla. Um, and so, yeah, it seems like it's kind of an interesting, I guess, pivot from Ubisoft, because in the past few installments of the series, the Assassin's Creed games have been getting bigger and bigger and bigger to the point of just like, who even finishes these? I know I sure as heck don't. And I liked Valhalla a lot. I played that game for like probably, I don't know, 30 or 40 hours. And then I was like, I have had enough, especially because everyone I talked to who had finished it were like, oh yeah, you're in for at least 120. I was like, no, no, I think that's okay. I don't really
Yeah.
want to. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, this is kinda why I didn't even start playing Lost Ark, which, by the way, probably has no ending. It's just
yeah,
an online game. Yeah, because I know it'll be hours and hours of my life. Hundreds of hours of my life, actually. But yeah, I think this is kinda cool. I will quickly say thank you, Hawken, for telling people to not thank you, Washington Post Gaming, for telling people to not transcribe the comments
no,
that
transcribed
you've
everything
s
I say
you've said.
and then
Oh,
send it to me so
terrible.
we can put it on merchandise, posters and things like that next to the illegal Gene Park Kirby, and then sell all of that
Oh my
and
god, you
make
could
tons of
put
money and I can put it
Gene
on the.
Park Kirby eating a car from Cars 3, and then you have this terrible quote. Oh,
You're talking about how the car is in pain.
oh no. Oh, and the speech bubble is from the car, like, underneath the Kirby. Oh.
And Hassan is in the car. Again, another person who, like, we definitely have the rights to use his likeness, and it'll be fine, and no one will care.
Hassan has been covered by Kirby, though, because Kirby's eating the car at this point,
Oh
so
man,
you don't even get to see his likeness, so I'm sure you won't be sued. You're fine.
yeah, but you can still see his like shoulders popping out because they're like massive. Anyway, that somebody work on fan art of that whole image we just described.
Okay.
If you can actually create it, then honestly, I will be amazed. I will bow
S
down before you.
Send me, reader letters that we'll read on stream, and send me this fan art of this,
Yes,
atrocity we've created. Okay, thank you.
yes, and be very precise. You need to include all the details we just described. Otherwise, we will not accept your submission. You'll be disqualified. Uh,
Wow, yep.
anyway, I guess getting back to the story, it is worth keeping in mind that even though this is obviously a pivot for Ubisoft and in at least an interesting direction with Assassin's Creed, that Ubisoft is also in the midst of a series of pretty, terrible workplace related allegations, conditions, changes. And so this is kind of, I think, probably symptomatic of that in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, as is pointed out in the Bloomberg article, has faced challenges in recent years. In the summer of 2020, dozens of current and former employees accused the company of facilitating sexual misconduct, leading Chief Executive Officer Yves Guillemot to apologize and fire some of his top lieutenants. But many employees say that the company has not done enough to fix its cultural problems. The fallout has prompted many employees to leave. So,
Hmm.
on one hand, you have this like Ubisoft adapting to its current times and also maybe giving people a more interesting video game experience than they have from the series in a minute. But on the other hand, you also have like everything just kind of being on fire over there. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, you have to wonder if like they're connected, right? If the game is smaller, then they maybe need less labor, less hours, and maybe
Hmm.
they don't have like currently in the video game industry, like talent is very hard to come by and it's hard to hire people. It's like really competitive and
Hmm.
people also may not want to work for a company with this many allegations against it.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, with the way the video game industry is headed, I worry, and I say this non facetiously. I worry about the number of options people will have if they don't want to be at a place that has serious allegations against it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
There's
welcome to the games
Vodio. I
industry. Yeah, there we go. You can be
right,
Vodio's 13th staffer. Millions of people can compete.
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
In better news from big publishers, and again, I don't want to position this as this makes this company intrinsically good and they have no problems. But EA today said that they are not going to be releasing a Sims 4 expansion that has LGBT content in it in Russia, due to Russia's anti-LGBT laws and policies.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So basically, this expansion is going to have character. Yeah. Excited to introduce you to Dom and Cam. Their love story
Oh.
reflects the lived experiences of so many members of our community and team. And so, yeah, they want to be able to tell that story accurately and like to the in I think the way that they want to. And so they said, regrettably, this means that members of the Sims community in Russia will not be able to purchase the game pack. And so, I mean, that's good because the other option there is that they remove that content from the expansion and then release it in Russia. But, that would be, I think, sending a pretty messed up message, especially from a series that has historically been pretty good about LGBT issues.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough choice. But yeah, it reminds me of like South Korean games I'm playing like that never had any gay marriage. And then I think when Maple Story went to mobile,
Mhm.
people were saying, "Can you add gay marriage?" And then the developers were like, "Oh yeah, I will think about it." I really like that to happen, but it never. I don't believe it did. So yeah,
Mm. Well, that's a bummer.
yeah,
Um, but yeah. Oh yeah. Quickly to go back to a comment from earlier. Andrea said, "I'm waiting for an Asian Assassin's Creed that's not a mobile game."
yeah.
Yeah.
That's also been like a point of criticism of the Assassin's Creed franchise. Is like it
Mhm.
centers around like European stories and you don't really get a lot of there's a couple of like uh spin-offs that are like of different cultures, but they're like
Right.
not the main entry in the franchise. So
Yeah. Let's see. I believe the only entries with Assassins of Color that are main entries are Origins and Odyssey, right?
mm, I I
I
would
I
not be able to like confirm,
I
but
think
I
that's correct.
think but yeah, I don't yeah,
Yeah, because then Valhalla went back to white characters.
two Vikings, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, which is extremely funny because like, I don't know, they want to tell this like history spanning story that especially like I think that the originals, at least the first few, went back to like Egypt specifically and like that time period. And it's like there are so many stories outside of what white people were doing. And then even when they are doing stories about non-white characters, they often still catch them in a present day story that is mostly about like, well, anyway, I don't know. It's very Ubisoft. It's very how they, I guess, want to do things. So wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, we are finally reaching another one of the links that you submitted this week,
Oh,
which I'm
thank
curious as
you.
to why.
Finally. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry
Hey,
for the
Ghost of
tease.
Tsushima is the game you're looking for. Best Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed game in here.
I
Yeah,
mean,
made
even
by
then though,
yeah.
that's it's like problematic in a different direction though, right? Because Ghost of Tsushima was mainly made by white people, and like even though it's about Asian characters, and it's like I it sounds like the politics in it are kind of weird.
I think this is like a joke comment, right? It's a troll comment, I wanna
Is
say.
it? Is it? I guess
Anyway,
we'll find out.
very, very nice. Yeah, this is my link. I hope you like
Mhm.
it. I don't usually get to submit links to this,
I mean,
show, so I
wait, you
consider it
don't.
an honor.
Wow. Okay, to be clear, you can anytime you want to. I just always have like gotten into the process now of just like grabbing a bunch of links before the show starts and being like, I gotta prep, I gotta make sure we're good. Oh my god. So I did not think to ask, but I should
I've
have.
always, like,
That is my
been
bad.
writing articles or, like, I don't know, doing my makeup, so I didn't have time to send you any links, so
Mhm.
I'm actually just kidding, but yeah, sure. Thanks.
Eh, Nonetheless, I've been called out, and I think that to an extent I deserve it. So I apologize. Um, in any case, why this one? What compelled you?
Well, okay, this headline is like talking to my PS5 works better than I thought. So I was like, really? You're talking to I thought Jay being somebody who like is a news writer at The Verge, like who came on after I left. I thought he was talking about he's using his PS5 as a therapist. So I was
Mhm.
like, oh, very intriguing. I clicked on this link and
Uh-huh.
there's voice commands now. I also got the email for this. I did
Wait.
not cover this.
Rewind for one moment. Can you describe to me what you thought the process of using a PS5 as a therapist might have entailed?
I thought this is a personal blog from him. I don't
Uh-huh.
know Jay at all, but I'm assuming he'd be like, "I've been very, sad in the pandemic. I just need to unload on somebody. I don't want to unload on like my friends. I don't want to burden
Mhm.
them. I want to burden my PS5, my buddy, my pal. It's been a hard time." That's what I imagined this blog would be about. And then I clicked on this and it's not at
Okay,
all.
so again, that's kind of another follow-up question. This would be somewhat akin to the way that, like, for example, I in my lowest moments and my highest moments and everything in between talk to my cat. Like, my cat kind of, gets
So
to
are
hear a
you
lot about my
saying even though
thoughts and I'm
you
kind of
you
in charge
never
of
had a
those.
PS5, you actually do have a PS5 this whole time?
Yes, exactly. I mean, I would argue. Okay, so to be clear, my cat is significantly better than a PS5. Like, no contest.
Wow.
Like, I mean, can a PS5 run around your house and like leave little barfs everywhere? Of course not.
They should do that next. They should add that as the next feature.
Yeah,
And then The Verge can cover it
little
again,
barfs.
and I can submit that as a link again. We can discuss this next week. Yeah.
I'm really excited for like their E3 presentation to be about that. They're like, we got a very special announcement for you today. Sony President of America or whatever. Um, the PlayStation 5 will henceforth produce tiny barfs at random intervals, which you will then have to clean up. They will be in the worst possible places around your house. You will be climbing into bed one night. You will find one just right in the middle of your pillow. And you'll be like, I'm so tired. This is the thing that's going to ruin my day.
And Sony
Yeah.
will be like, "You're welcome.
Yeah.
I was just looking out for you, buddy." Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, see you later, human times too. It was great having you. You've been awesome in
Yeah.
chat. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 humans. Bye. See you
Yeah.
later.
and add cat allergy too. Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
I can't wait
Well,
to be able
yeah.
to be allergic to a PlayStation. But okay, okay. We have digressed significantly. So the PlayStation, you can talk to it now. You can say, "Hey, PlayStation," and
So,
it will
I
activate.
think this is quite interesting because I used to cover voice assistants and I
Mhm.
have a Amazon Echo. I I shouldn't admit that I have one, but yeah, I have one. I also had a Google Home at one point, so I'm not biased. And
Mhm.
I also have Siri, so I also have Bixby. I have every assistant, okay, I'm not biased.
Wow.
But
Wow.
I didn't have the PlayStation as my assistant. So that's what I am,
Yeah.
like, looking forward to. And then Xbox will probably have to match this with, like, "Hey, Xbox." But I will say, like, "Hey, PlayStation" is not great because what if you're just talking, you're like, "My PlayStation is so warm today," and then it activates, and you're like, "Wait, I'm not
Mm.
talking about it. Please don't listen to me." So they should have picked a different wake word, like a different trigger.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Unfortunately. Wow, Sean said, "Is this a cry for help, Nathan?"
I mean, everything's a cry for help from me. I'm surprised it's taken people this long to notice. I make it very obvious.
Wow. It's actually quite sad. Okay, well,
Yeah.
moving
Oh,
on.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I think this feature is really good, and I wanna try it out first because before I say
Mhm.
it's really good, because I don't even know if it works well.
I
But
mean,
yeah, according to Jay, he likes it.
yeah, I find this part both interesting and funny. That it's good at picking up on phrases like greedfall and gungeon, which are very made up video game words. So that's impressive. That's solid technology.
Huh. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, and then, like, I assume they've been testing this for a long time for different languages, and they would
Mhm.
add more over time, so very
Yeah.
cool.
Well, neato. The PlayStation 5 just keeps evolving. Soon it will evolve into a full on cat.
Thanks for transcribing me, Sean, I appreciate that.
All
So just
right.
so you heard it here, folks, I am not biased.
Oh man, now
2022.
we are. So now we're in the wrap up phase, and it's my favorite part of every stream, which is just the dumbest stuff.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm so excited. We've got some good ones today. All right. So first of all, Ludwig, popular Twitch streamer turned YouTube streamer, got a Hollywood billboard, and that's cool, exciting. So here's the primary
But
image.
something behind it stole the spot, like,
Yes, all
what's
the
behind
spotlight.
it?
So
What?
first of all, he decided to do like a troll. So he got this like emote of himself done, and he's like, "Haha, I'm so proud of myself." Um, but something behind him did steal the spotlight, and so this is when we go into
What?
enhanced territory. If we mouse over this, who's this guy over here?
Oh, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know. It is in fact Spider-Man.
This is very funny because Ludwig's, like, expression is like, "Hmm,
I know, right?
hmm,"
He's like, "Hey there. I'm like contemplative and handsome. Look
and
at
I'm
me."
so confident, and then it's like,
And then Spider-Man's just chilling up behind him with Miss Marvel. Look at that
"Oh,
outfit.
that's Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, huh,
Yeah. So a Avengers level crossover is happening right behind him, and he doesn't
nice.
even know.
Wow." And Spider-Man has cookie dough for wings,
But yeah, no,
apparently.
I really enjoy Spider-Man's like very casual outfit too, that he's wearing like a like basketball jersey and like yeah, it's just I mean basketball shoes too, I think. Was he just playing basketball? Probably. That would be
Oh.
unfair. Spider-Man should not be allowed to play basketball. He'd be way too good. Yeah.
Wait, oh, nothing but web, nothing but net, but now it's nothing but web. Hmm.
Oh, whoa. Much to think about.
Just
Let's
keep coming
see.
up with these. Oh,
By the way, you got transcribed. I am not biased, Shannon 2022.
that's what I was saying. I
Yeah.
was reading that. Okay,
Okay,
you
okay.
missed that. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I got distracted by this whole tableau. Um, let's see. Also, Captain Marvel. Captain put some. Oh, I thought it was Miss. I wasn't.
I
Is that
don't
a Captain Marvel costume or is it Miss Marvel?
I cannot tell. I
Yeah.
think because like her outfit's
Actually,
kind
you
of
might be
like
right. That
over
is.
jeans, so I don't know which one it
No,
is.
I think they're right. I think it is Captain Marvel because Miss Marvel. Yeah, her outfit's a little bit different. I got mixed up by the hair because it's the same hair as Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
Um,
she's not blonde. She doesn't have the
yeah.
headpiece. Oh,
Well,
confusing.
anyway, it's one of them. They're very different characters. They are incredibly different characters, but nonetheless. So yeah, this is good. People immediately grabbed onto this. Never mind.
Bro,
Spider-Man.
let's
Let's go.
go.
I can't ignore the Spider-Man. Spider-Man
I
fucks you
think
than
I
Ludwig.
honestly think this, like, takes off more because it's, like, fun to ignore Ludwig in this and be like,
I
"Ah,
know,
he
right?
looks so confident. Haha, I don't actually care about him. I'm gonna focus on this."
Yes, on Spider-Man. He was great.
Yeah.
When does Spider-Man start a Twitch channel? I feel like maybe that'll be a plot point in the next Spider-Man movie.
Honestly, we can all be Spider-Man. So, like, he already probably started a Twitch channel. Like, the 12,000 Lost Ark Twitch channels, they can just be
Wait,
Spider-Man Twitch channel.
I can be Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Um, all right, so
that's what the metaverse has taught us, yeah.
oh, okay, okay.
Mhm.
The metaverse. There we go. Well, now I'm sold. If all of the people who were like using it as a big grift and like Mark Zuckerberg or whatever had just told me I could be Spider-Man, then that's all I needed to hear. I'm in.
Oh, that could be, like, the motivational saying of 2022, everyone can be Spider-Man, but also yeah.
I'm not even a real nerd. I just got placed in this job for fun. Nathan 2022 probably.
Exposed.
I I will have you know I've actually read a lot of Miss Marvel and I've not read any of Captain Marvel. So I'm like half of a real nerd.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, if you say so.
Wow, and now everyone's doubting me. Calling into question my credibility after the years of work I put in just to understand at least a few corners of the Marvel universe. Terrible. Oh, bye, Andrea. Andrea, thanks for stopping by.
Bye.
She is unfortunately going to miss the gun VTuber. This is okay. So this is my friend. This is a friend of mine who works at Twitch, and in his spare time, he does cursed VTubers. One of his recurring characters is a VTuber who's also a gun.
Are you serious?
So now it's time for this very silly, very short clip.
Are we gonna
that I
get
know also about.
reported for violence on the stream?
No.
Oh, my glasses. I can't see a thing without my glasses. Oh, that's way better.
What the
Oh, my glasses.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I can't see a thing without my glasses.
Finish my sentence there.
Oh, that's way better.
It's just a really dumb bit that I think is extremely funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not really much to say about that. Just it's good.
Speechless.
It's a gun VTuber. Yes, it really is. No. So if you want to follow a really good Twitch channel, definitely follow Shindigs. Or I think his name on Twitch is Shindags. No, it's Shindigs. But anyway, yeah. He is well worth a follow because he's constantly experimenting with all of these weird VTubers and all these other gimmicks. Like his streams are so fun. Speaking of streams that are really fun, so what I usually do when I'm like working on a story super late into the night is I just have Twitch on ambiently, and this means I get a procession of streamers because one by one people like log off and read and host somebody else's channel or raid into somebody else's channel rather. And so what this left me with last night was a truly surreal moment in which I came across a streamer who is, for lack of, I can't really describe him, so I'm just going to say this guy.
Oh, yeah, I saw this tweet. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so this guy, at least as far as I can tell, maybe he'll like milkshake duck himself in like 2 seconds, but he rules. So I was just watching his stream last night because another music streamer I was watching raided into his channel. And so he's a 66-year-old dude who this week is celebrating his birthday, doing a series of streams. He plays guitar. He's been a musician since he was a kid. And like, yeah, this week he's just doing a mixture of playing guitar, playing video games, drinking wine, and hanging out with his not insubstantial audience. I think he had like 300 or so concurrents last night. The raid from another streamer got him up to 1,000 briefly. But yeah, it's just like a really chill, nice old dude who hangs out and talks to his audience and has a great beard. And I was just like, man, his whole setup rules. He has a fish cam in the background.
Oh, it's a fish cam. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like the fish is awkwardly on his couch like that. Okay, cool.
No, it gets switched around as need be. He has a fake parrot. Yeah.
Well, he put work into building this out. Okay.
Yeah. And his channel is here quickly and just jump over to it so people can see.
Oh,
and
that's your Slack. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, my notifications came back on. I disabled them, but whatever. We're almost done. So who cares? Anyway. So yeah, his name is Maz28, which is a lot. But if y'all want to follow him, check him out. Here he is. I recommend his stream based on what I watched last night because it was just fun and chill and good and was very good for keeping me company while I was working late into the night.
Washington Post Gaming says we should have him on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I will reach out to him because I really enjoyed his stream. So yeah, that's your kind of wholesome recommendation.
Kind of reminds me of like when I was in LA, I got like driven around by this Uber driver, and he was like in his 60s playing he loves World of Warcraft every day. Log back on World of Warcraft after work. And so then I started covering World of Warcraft, and I reached out to him using Uber, be like, "Can I talk to that driver that I had?" And then I interviewed him for that, and he's like in a Facebook group of like 60-year-olds who play World of Warcraft.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. Also, you know what? I'm annoyed enough by the notifications that I am going to disable them again.
I chill out for my friends on Twitch says Nathan 2022 according to Shaw.
Wow, very impressive. No, I do not actually know this guy, though. Interesting note, he is also from Texas, apparently, Central Texas.
Big chill for this guy.
Wow. Okay, I'm done shilling. I'm done shilling. I'm going to end the stream on a story.
Okay.
Which is that. So in BioShock Infinite, there is this one scene where, or in DLC for it, there's a scene in Paris, France, and there's this little kid dancing around a pole with a baguette. which
Oh
was not
god.
really meant to be lingered on. But of course, given the nature of the internet and people who play video games, folks fixated on this for years. What is this kid's deal? Why is
Yeah,
this
what
happening?
is it like they're like, "Oh, I'm making a French part of the
No, I mean,
game,
I think he's just very
baguette."
stoked. Yeah, and this kid's just really stoked to have some bread, right? So somebody brought this up. They posted a gif of it and said like, "Hey, let's flash back to this wonderful, incredible moment in video games." Um, and so then, as a result of
Oh,
that,
no.
they actually got the attention of the developer who did this.
Oh.
Former triplet, yeah, Gwen Frey is her name. Hi, I placed the bread boy in the Paris scene. Here's the backstory.
Wow, a thread,
Yeah,
a thread.
yes, it's a large part of my job. Here's why there's a bread boy. And it's populating the Paris scene with chumps, skeletal meshes of humans with no AI. I'd play looping animation on a person, script some head tracking or whatever, and request VO lines from the writers to flesh them out. For for reasons we couldn't afford to have proper AI pathfinding around, so most of the background characters were quote unquote chumps, and we didn't have a ton of resources for DLC, so I was mostly reusing animations from the base game. I thought the Paris scene was too static and needed more motion, but I couldn't afford another AI walking around. I figured a chump running in a circle around the cylinder could work, since I just expand the collision of it to prevent the player from running through them.
Hmm.
However, we didn't have enough looping run in a circle animation.
Oh.
We did have dancing in a circle, though. Remember this scene? Look at the background characters around Elizabeth. So yeah, there's a dancing scene in Bioshock. Characters were dancing around in little circles.
Mhm.
I decided to reuse that, but a couple randomly dancing seemed dumb. I figured I'd make two dancing kids instead. However, the kids had different proportions than the adults, so the kids' feet were clipping through the ground and their hands were going through each other.
Huh. Huh.
I turned on foot and arm IK, so their hands and feet would end up in the same position as the adults, but then their hands were way over their heads.
Okay.
So I deleted the boy's dancing partner and attached a baguette to his hands. Bam! Boy dances with baguette. Ship it. I figured if
What?
anyone asked, I'd say bread is great, right?
Oh my
I didn't think
god.
anything of it at the time, but this boy is the most viral thing I've ever made.
Oh my god. Okay. Wow. But
Baguette
also
child.
baguette. I think my point stands. Baguette, France. Of course. Baguette. Why not?
Yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely. But I mean, there you go. This is the story of a baguette child.
I
Baguette,
mean,
how we say that?
like
Bread for
Sean
the bread god.
says, yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
All right. So on that note, because truly, what else could we end the stream on? What could possibly be better than Baguette Kid? Um, so I think that's going to be us signing off for the week. I was Nathan Grayson. I
You
remain Nathan
were, but
Grayson.
no longer.
Right. Yeah. Now that the stream is over, I must cast off this name. Each week there's a new Nathan Grayson. It's kind of a Doctor Who type of thing, I guess, but much more rapid.
Hmm. We can
Um,
get Mikhail on. He could become the new Nathan.
just give
Oh.
him a wig of my hair. Yeah.
Oh no, that means like we have to shave you, huh? All right. Well,
No,
anyway, I've been Shannon, and it's
I
so
refuse to
good
be
to talk to
shaved.
you.
You can't
Well,
shave
we'll work
me.
it out behind the scenes later.
Wow, this is messed
Um,
up.
yeah. Tell your wife
Anyway.
you said hi. Okay, we'll tell your wife.
Yeah,
Bye.
no, wait. Also, quickly, just to remind everybody, we do this every Thursday, 4 p.m. ET. We also have a gameplay stream Fridays at 4 p.m. ET. We'll be back tomorrow, I assume, doing that. I have
For
no
the
idea.
NFL, for the Super Bowl stream where they play
Oh, yeah, that's
Madden,
right. We're gonna have like a
and our
NFL
editor will
player.
be on. Yeah, he'll be on to play Madden and
Huh.
Super Bowl Sunday, Super Bowl, and also Valentine's Day Monday. It'll be a fun time.
All right. Yeah. So we're gonna have a cool Super Bowl themed stream tomorrow for people who are into football. I don't know. I'll probably tune in even though I'm not. So that's how cool it's gonna be. Holy cow. Um,
Oh, Sean. Oh, that's
oh
so
yeah, and
nice.
Sean is
Thanks for
wow.
tuning in, Sean.
Yeah,
How
no,
nice.
major plot reveal right at the end of this stream. Right before we go, the big reveal is that Sean is Elise, one of our editors' husband.
That's
So
so nice. So
there we
sweet.
go.
Wow. I hope you
Yeah, I
tuned in
learned
for the
something.
unpacking stream with Elias. That was fun.
Yeah, that was an awesome stream. But yeah, thank you, Sean, for repeatedly transcribing us the entire stream. It added a lot.
Yep,
Um,
it's
and
great.
yeah, wow. Then a plot twist at the end, man. like secret
So
main
much
character of the
drama.
stream today, Sean Burke. All right. With all of that said, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Tune into future streams. Like, comment, subscribe.
Tap the bell for notifications.
Yeah. And make sure to clean up after your PlayStation 5s when they barf. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.